Hello, and welcome back to Zenin Fanfics. Today we're starting an exciting new series. What if female Deku had 3 quirks? If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe for more content. The story we're featuring is written by TazzDavies on Wattpad. You can find all the relevant links in the description, so be sure to check out the author's profile and say hello. Now let's dive into the story. Gaining her quirks and lifelong friendship. It was an already warm Saturday morning, and over in a lovely house resided the happy family of the Midoriyas. The gorgeous, kind-hearted mother, Inko Midoriya, and her rambunctious, already intelligent, outgoing, quite blunt, and highly curious of everything, newly turned 4-year-old daughter, Izuku. The father, Hisashi, had unfortunately died when Izuku was almost 3, in a result of dangerous and rampaging 5-man villain group that Endeavor and All Might had been after, who gunned him down as he exited a flower shop on his way home. Luckily, the Flame Hero had instantly recognized who Hisashi was, being an already legendary top lawyer for the Japanese government, and got in touch once they'd apprehended the villains, even meeting her at the police station while Izuku was at the Bakugu's seeing their baby boy. Inko had a stunning figure, being somewhat of an hourglass style. Shoulder-length dark green hair that she usually has up in a half ponytail or down entirely, with side bangs that dangle near vibrant emerald eyes that show kindness, maturity, friendliness, and love. She has a smile and aura about her that's like sunshine and instantly makes those around her relaxed and happy. Majority of the time, she's dressed in jeans and a simple t-shirt, or the rare occasion, a long black skirt and blouse. Either way, she rocks what she wears. You will currently find Inko leaving the kitchen after beginning breakfast and heading to her daughter's bedroom, which just so happened to be the biggest room, to wake her up. Inko went in and opened the blackout curtains on the overstuffed, gray, bay-seated windows, letting in the bright morning sunshine, before smiling softly at the sight that greeted her. A few steps ahead from her position sat the solid oak double bed with a bedside table on either side that currently had tucked in tightly beneath black duvet covers, her precious bundle of joy, who was hugging her treasured dark green and black dragon teddy, the last present from her father before he died. Before waking the girl, Inko prepared her clothes for the day, resulting in a red t-shirt and black shorts. Izuku wasn't like most girls her age and was more on the tomboy kind of side, loving nothing more than getting her hands dirty. She wasn't a massive hero fanatic like most kids, but she had a few figurines. In the room, the walls painted a warm slate gray, with lovely oak flooring that was all throughout the home. A large fluffy black rug sat at the feet of the bed, breaking up the floor space. To the right of that was an oak double-sided wardrobe tucked tight into a corner. Beside that sat an oak chest of drawers. Behind the door was the already impressive desk that had a laptop, lamp, and other small assortments on it. Above it, on the wall, hung the TV, with gaming consoles, etc. underneath on a thick, sturdy shelf that was part of the desk, but used for those instead. Next to the desk was a floor-to-ceiling-length bookcase that spanned the remaining length of wall, already full of books that no normal child would most likely have. The bottom 2 shelves housed a vast collection of DVDs, CDs, and games. The room, in theory, should be more acquainted with a teenager than a 4-year-old, but her baby was anything if not special. Inko sighed as she placed the clothes on the end of the bed and shuffled up to the kid, reaching out to shake them gently. "Izu, my sweet baby, it's time to get up," she called, getting a wiggle in return before the duvet lowered slightly, and she stared into emeralds the same as her own, but only bigger. Izuku had doe-like eyes that were astounding. Duvet lowered more, revealing baby-soft chubby cheeks with pale gold 4 diamond freckles on each, rose-pink lips that instantly stretched into a smile. "Morning, Mama." "Good morning, Izuku. Your clothes are at the end of your bed. Do hurry and get ready. Breakfast will be ready soon." "Okay, sweetheart." She ran her hand through her daughter's thick, jet black, naturally wavy hair that was currently major bedhead and all over the place. That and the golden freckles are the only things she had in common with her father in looks-wise. "Okay, Mama." Izuku climbed from the bed and dashed into the hallway for the bathroom, making Inko chuckle before she headed downstairs. As she was dishing it up, about 10 minutes later, Izuku came skipping into the spacious kitchen, slippers slapping against the tiled floor slightly. "What drink do you want this morning, Izu?" she questioned before putting the plate on the table. "Juice, please. Can I get it?" "Go ahead." Izuku smiled wide as she grabbed the fresh orange juice from the fridge. Sometimes, with the way she was, Inko honestly forgot that she'd not long turned 4. "Mama, do you want any too?" Izuku called from where she carefully made her drink on the counter, standing on the stepping stool they had. "Yes, please, baby." Another was poured, then transported safely to the table. The family of 2 settled on the seats, said their thanks, and ate in the usual comfortable silence. When finished, the duo washed the dishes before Inko tackled her daughter's hair, putting the thick mass into a simple ponytail, along with a plain black bandana to keep any wayward strands out of her face. "What are we doing today, Mama?" Izuku requested, tipping her head back to see her. "Well, we can watch a movie, snuggled on the couch, as it's only 8:30 a.m. Then after that, we'll go to the hospital so that you can find out what your quirk is, as it should be here by now, or very soon as your birthday was last week. Then we're going to Mitsuki and Masaru's for dinner." She answered, "Awesome. Let's go to the living room for our movie, Mama." They quickly chose what to watch and snuggled happily on the couch. It was the quiet, precious moments like this that Inko truly treasured, creating memories with her baby that she utterly adored, loved, and cherished more than anything else. Some days Inko genuinely thought that Izuku was sent from the heavens because she was just too pure. Even when she'd been a tiny baby, there hardly been any problems. Izuku had barely cried or made much fuss, always happy and laughing, as well as being highly curious about everything going on around her. Before she realized it, the movie ended and Izuku put the disc away without being asked. Inko turned the TV off and stretched before getting up. "Mama, do I need to take anything with me for today?" the green-eyed angel requested. "Maybe that new book you just started reading. You can't play with Katsuki for the remainder of the day, as he'll need a nap, as he's only 2 and will get grumpy. Also, get your Snuggie, so you'll be comfortable later when reading Sweetheart." Inko offered. Izuku loved nothing more than being wrapped in either her Snuggie, a normal blanket, or a chunky duvet when reading, as it calmed her. "Oh yes, I'll get it." Izuku fled as fast as her little legs would go. She chuckled before getting her own bag. She checked that she had everything and got the car keys, just as Izuku came toddling down the stairs. Little red shoes in her hand and backpack hung securely on her shoulders. "Mama, can you do my laces, please?" Izuku plopped down on the 3rd step from the bottom, shoved her feet into the boots, then raised them. "Of course." Inko did the laces, and then they left in a flurry of growing excitement as Izuku chirped her thanks. 20 minutes later, the duo parked and swiftly entered Mizudafu Hospital, going to the reception. They were 10 minutes early, which was a good thing. Better a little early than being late. The receptionist looked up, a soft smile gracing her face, golden eyes locked on her. "Hello, how can I help you?" she asked with a calm voice. "Hello, I booked an appointment to see about my daughter's quirk, please." Inko explained. "Sure. Name of the child, please." "Midoriya, Izuku." She typed it into the computer as Izu kept a grip on her leg, waiting patiently. "All booked in. Please have a seat on the 2nd floor, and someone will call when it's your turn." "Thank you." "Thank you, ma'am." Izuku giggled before they went up a flight of stairs and settled in a seat in the area marked quirk evaluation. Once settled, Izuku patted her arm to get her attention. "What is it, baby? What kind of quirk do you think I'll get? Something like Daddy had?" she asked, voice going a little quieter and asking about her dad. Sure, she didn't really remember him, but had seen a few photos that Inko had hanging on the walls. Plus, the story she'd told. Hisashi had a fire-breathing quirk, not that he had really used it. No point with being a lawyer. Maybe baby. Either way, whatever the result, I won't stop loving and supporting you, she stated reassuringly, giving her a kiss on her forehead. Thanks, Mama. Izuku swiftly pulled out her new book from her bag. Inko was still flabbergasted by it. It was a book on physics used for 10-year-olds. How her daughter knew that stuff already, she genuinely had no idea, but wasn't going to stop her from learning things. She was advanced in her reading and writing, but she refused to move her up in classes, not wanting her little being to be singled out or bullied for her already astounding intelligence. If given the option, Izuku would rather read than watch TV or play too. Midoriya's. A voice called, and the duo got up. Izuku put the book away, backpack slung into place, and trotted over to the nurse with her usual bright smile. "That's me. It's nice to meet you, ma'am." Izuku bowed in politeness. "Lovely to meet you too, honey. Let's get your core checked, yes." The nurse smiled back, and Inko chuckled lightly as Izuku nodded furiously. They followed her to a room and went in. "The doctor will be with you in just a minute. Take care." "Thank you." Izuku chirped before heading in with Inko, who nodded in politeness to the nurse, who walked away after closing the door. The mother and daughter claimed their seats, backpack and handbag resting on the floor at their feet, and peered around the room in curiosity. Izuku was rather enraptured by some of the posters on the walls that showed human anatomy and a few other things, quickly going over to have a better look. "Mama, what does that word say and mean, please?" Izuku pointed to one, and Inko got up to have a look, just as the door at the back of the room opened and in strolled the doctor, drawing their attention. He was around her age, with calm blue eyes, blonde hair and short spikes, and a lean build. "The word is sacrum," asked the doctor afterwards Izuku, "as I'm not sure what it means or is for." It was true. She had zero idea. She didn't understand it. She wasn't going to lie about knowing it either. "Okay, Mama." "Hello, I'm Dr. Nakamura. You must be Izuku, yes?" he asked. His voice was slightly deep and smooth-sounding, but Inko could tell he used it to help calm or reassure patients easily. It was certainly handy to have in this line of work. "Yes. Are you going to check for my quirk, doctor?" Her bundle of joy turned fully to the guy. "I sure am. I'm going to need a small BLD sample and do a couple of tests. Is that okay?" he queried. "Yes, that's fine with me." Inko nodded. "Follow me, then, little one." "Okay." Izuku did as asked. A few tests later, she happily rejoined her mother. Nakamura came out a minute later and settled in his seat at his desk, paperwork in front of him. He seemed a bit shocked. Izuku got down from her seat and went to him, patting his arm to gain his attention. "Are you okay, Mr. Nakamura?" she questioned in worry. Inko just smiled at the sight. That was the pure heart of her baby, always wanting people to be happy or making sure that they're all right. "Oh, yes, I'm okay. Sorry to worry you. I'm just a bit shocked at your results, Izuku." "Good or bad?" Inko posed. "Oh, it's good, don't worry." He opened the file, and Izuku tiptoed, trying to see in curiosity. "Izuku, let him tell us, sweetheart. Don't try and read it for yourself." Inko chuckled. "Oh, sorry, Mama." She dashed back and sat beside her, hands placed in her lap like a good girl. "Okay, this is the first time I have ever seen anything like this. Izuku here has 3 quirks, and all are rather extraordinary. Could you tell me what quirks you and her father have, please?" Hold on. Her baby had 3 quirks. That's incredible, and she's never heard of something like that before. "Oh yes, I have attraction that allows me to pull smallish things to me, but it isn't that strong. My husband had fire breathing." She replied. "Interesting. Can I ask, has Izuku shown signs of anything, say, more advanced than her years?" "Oh yes. Her speech is near perfect since her first word at almost 18 months old. She's reading much harder books, does things that no 4-year-old should be able to do, and a few other things. Izuku, show him your new book." She nudged her daughter, who nodded. She took her book to him. "Here you go, Mr. Nakamura. I started it today." He took the book, and there was no mistaking the way he was shocked, not with the way his eyes blew wide. "She's truly reading this." He asked Inko. Yes. The previous one that she'd found in her father's office was mechanical engineering. "Izuku, can I ask why you want to read these?" He turned to her daughter, who peered up at him with her huge emeralds. "I like them better than TV. They're interesting. I don't like kid books either, as they're mostly just pictures with a single sentence. I like something to use my brain with." She shrugged in reply, like that's the most obvious answer. He handed the book back to the child, who didn't leave his side. That's incredible, Izuku. Now, Ms. Midoriya, I think I've sussed out why she's like this. Oh, yes. It seems that Izuku was born with a quirk, which essentially means that this one gives her near-perfect photographic and muscle memory. But I genuinely think that Izuku has a slightly more advanced IQ than normal, which is why she can talk, read, and understand things like this, and I do highly recommend doing an IQ test so we can be definite, but I'm pretty sure she does. Ah, wow. What more could she say to that? She knew her baby was smart, but like that. Amazing. Indeed. Now, the other two quirks I found are also highly incredible that I've yet to see anything like them. They should appear/manifest from now to within the next few days, so please keep an eye out. It might cause her some discomfort, and clothes might irritate for a little bit. He warned. Of course. What are they, please? According to the tests and what they said, one is the ability to create, control, and use flames of any temperature and color with no problems, meaning she is also flame-proof. These flames could do many things from heal almost anything up to near death, burn, destroy, or incinerate. Can also manipulate them with S-rank telekinesis upwards of 300 meters with practice, maybe even further. The second gives her huge wings of which can solidify and become as sharp as knives, strong as the strongest material to man, as well as pretty much bomb/core proof, but I'm not sure on what color they'll be just yet though, but I conclude they could be 2 colors. Once she hits about 13, they'll grow to their full size, being an incredible 6 feet long, and from tip to tip, span 8 feet. 2 horns will protrude from just before her hairline, and she'll also have a halo in the middle of those. Eyes will become clearer, and vision is enhanced, that I estimate she'll be able to see upwards of perhaps 100 feet if she focuses with practice. Fingernails will grow an inch or so past her fingertips, turn coal black, pointed, and can cut through steel with ease. She can do anything that an angel and demon does. Drawbacks are 0. He rattled off, reading from the list. Both mother and daughter were stunned. Izuku's legs gave out, and she plopped to the floor with a small thud. Izuku. Inko ran to her daughter, looking her over in worry. But that soon changed as Izuku's mouth shifted into a truly radiant smile. Eyes sparkled, and she got up. Inko did as well, curious as to that sudden change. Her daughter moved to stand beside the doctor again. That's amazing. Can I name them? Please. Izuku pretty much had stars in her eyes. Of course. Nakamura smiled at her. Yay. First one, I'll call Blaze because it's fire-related. Second, shall be called Demon Angel Queen, as it's different and one of its kind. Mama, can you name the memory one, please? Izuku turned to her. She gave it a thought for a moment. What about Fami? Inko shrugged. She really had no idea, but that's what came to mind. I love it. Thanks, Mama. You're the best. Izuku cheered, bouncing on the spot. Thank you, baby. Is there anything else we need to know? She focused back on the doctor, who was smiling happily at the little girl's excitement. Basically, the more practice and control she has, the better. Oh, I forgot to ask Izuku. What do you want to do when you grow up? The doctor questioned. I want to be a hero, but not for the fame, money, or posing to a camera. I want to be the one who saves those left in the shadows, the forgotten ones. I want to be the hope and guidance of the people and show they're not alone. I see people for their hearts, like with villains too. They're the ones who were treated wrong and badly. So I want to try and change that, to show they're not alone, and I'll listen and help them in any way that I can. I want to have my own agency and be a good role model for new heroes. She rattled off in confidence and without hesitation, leaving the adults in clear shock at the blatant maturity of the 4-year-old. Plus, that answer, when asked of other kids, they typically wanted to be a famous hero just for the money and fame, regardless of anything else. Izuku, that's amazing. Inko praised. Indeed it is. I've never heard of someone wanting to do it like that before. I believe in you, Izuku, and I know that you'll do fantastic things when you grow up. I already know that you have what is called a pure heart, a true hero already, Nakamura said with a broad smile. Thank you. Oh, before I forget, can I ask about something from one of the posters, please? Izuku asked, her curiosity clear as day. Sure. She led him to the poster showing a detailed skeleton and pointed to a word. What does that mean, please? Oh, that's the sacrum bone. It's the large triangular bone that is at the base of our spines. It forms by the fusing of the vertebrae S1, S5 between the ages of 18 and 30. It sits between the two wings of the pelvis and forms joints with 4 other bones. He showed on a life-size skeleton he had tucked in a corner to show what he meant. Izuku's eyes were wide, but listened to his words. That's amazing. What's it used, please? Both adults weren't sure as to why she was so suddenly interested in it, but neither was going to stop from aiding the curious child in wanting to know. It's a complex structure that provides support for our spines and accommodation for the spinal nerves. It also articulates with the hip bones. Tell you what, how about I give you some of our old books we have around here, and you can learn at home? If that's okay with you, Ms. Midoriya. Is that really okay? I mean, I have no objections in Izuku having anything like that in order to learn more for a curious mind, but I do want to make sure that it truly is all right. Inko stated. Of course. Follow me, and I'll get them for you. Izuku grabbed her backpack and her handbag, handing it to her with a grin before they followed him. They headed into the deeper parts of the hospital, workers curious about them, but thinking nothing of it. They stopped next to a desk that had a nurse working away at a computer. Wait here, please, and I'll go get them from the office. Nakamura said. Thank you. Izuku chirped happily. He nodded and left. The nurse glanced at them in curiosity and noticed Izuku peering around in clear awe. Hello, sweetie, she said, drawing Izuku's attention. Hello, ma'am. Can I ask what you're doing here? She turned her golden gaze to Inko. Mr. Nakamura said he's going to get some old books for Izuku, who has now taken a rapt fascination on human anatomy and skeletal structures. I wouldn't be surprised at all if medicine makes an appearance in her wonder either. Inko replied with a smile. That's amazing. Why do you want to know that, little one? It's so cool and interesting. Plus, if I can't be a hero, then maybe I can be a doctor or nurse, like you and Mr. Nakamura. They're the real heroes anyway. Izuku shrugged. What makes you say that? Inko noted that a few other doctors and nurses had magically appeared from seemingly nowhere, having heard her brainiac daughter's answer. Because when people are sick or injured, they come here, and you help them to the best of your skills, knowledge, and the means provided. Sure, we have heroes fighting the bad guys, but in here, you're the real heroes who provide the true care for people. Izuku rattled off, just as Nakamura appeared, holding 4 books. Well, if you could call them books, they were more like tomes. Izuku, that's incredible, baby. Inko praised. Thanks, Mama, but it's the truth. I speak true, no lies. I know, sweetheart, you don't lie. Oh, look who's here. Izuku turned and saw the doctor, who was smiling. Izuku instantly got excited, eyes glowing. Here you go, Izuku. I also found one of medicine you can have as well. He handed one over, and Izuku took it like it was the most precious thing in the world. Thank you. She opened the first page, but Inko instantly stopped her. Not here, Izu. If you start reading that, we won't get anything done. You can start it later, okay? Oh yes, okay, Mama. She closed it, and Inko took the other 3 from Nakamura. Hello. Pardon on intruding on your conversation. I'm Mr. Baines, the head doctor. Little one, we overheard what you said, and we want to say thank you. Few say that about us doctors and nurses. Another doctor stepped forward. He had black hair with some gray strands and a well-kept beard. The way he held himself and dressed in the suit underneath his white coat, it was clear he's the boss. Then people are silly for not saying that. Without doctors or nurses, we'd be in a lot of trouble. She then quickly put the book down as her hands ignited in pink flames. Everyone was shocked, but her little beans stared, enraptured by the flames that stayed in one place. Mama, is it weird I already know what these can do and how to use it? Izuku's quiet voice asks. What do you mean, sweetie? Inko was freaking out. Flames were on her baby's hands. Pink heels. She responded. Could we, perhaps try Ms. Midoriya? Nakamura queried. Ow! She asked skeptically. We have a gentleman who was admitted about 20 minutes ago with a horrendous knife wound to his arm and some burns from a bank robbery gone bad. If possible, with your permission, and his, let Izuku here use those pink flames to see if it helps. He already requires surgery, so if this helps a bit better, then his chances of having full function again would be wondrous. I will ask for this to be kept on the quiet though, please, due to the man being a retired pro hero. The boss said, having caught on to what Nakamura had requested. Oh, Mama, can we? I want to help. I want to help anyone who needs it. Please. I don't care if they're a hero or not. Whoever needs the help must have it. Izuku begged, batting her long lashes at her in a puppy dog look as the flames also disappeared. Inko sighed. Who was she to say no? This was meant to be a simple trip to find out her daughter's quirk, and now it's come to this. Was she surprised? Not really. Nothing was truly simple when it came to Izuku, not even when she had been a baby. She put the books down and turned to her daughter, crouching to stare her in the eyes. I give full permission, but only if the gentleman wants the help, okay? I don't want you to overdo it, baby, as it's only just manifested. She warned. Izuku frantically nodded. Inko hadn't realized they'd gone to the private heroes section of the hospital, as she'd only really paid attention to her daughter. I promise. I just want to help Mama. Izuku hugged her, which she instantly returned. They separated a minute later, and her brave girl turned to the doctors who smiled at her. Before we go, I forgot to introduce myself to you, sorry. My name is Izuku Midoriya. I'm 4 years old. I wish to be a hero who saves people left in the shadows. If that doesn't work, I'll be a doctor or a nurse and save them this way. Izuku introduced herself, bowing slightly. That's incredible. You're very well spoken for a 4-year-old. Mr. Baines said. She's more advanced in her years. We just found out her quirks too. Inko told him. Quirks, as in more than one. The nurse at the desk choked out. I have 3. Izuku cheered. I'll explain later. Let's go help the gentleman. Okay, Izuku. Nakamura said, holding his hand out. Yes, let's go. Oh, what about my new books? Izuku took his hand, but pointed to the tomes. They'll be fine there, I promise. We'll get them afterwards. Which room is he in, Mr. Baines? 304, was the answer. They headed over. While it was Inko, Izuku, Nakamura, Mr. Baines, and a few other curious doctors. When they entered, Inko gasped quietly at the sight of the elderly man on the bed, wincing in pain. His right arm was wrapped tightly from fingertips to shoulder, burns on his chest that was wrapped in some clear plastic. Breathing mask on his face to help. A blanket covered his legs. He was a pro hero, well retired as they'd been told. Either way, Inko was sad that this had happened. There was truly no need for the horrendous violence in this world. Izuku instantly went to him, reaching out to touch his uninjured hand, making him open his eyes and peer at her. Hello, mister, I'm sorry this happened to you. My name is Izuku, and, if you will allow, can I use my pink flames to help in your aid, fully with your permission? Mama said it was okay, but only if you agreed first. Izuku asked quietly. Everyone was gobsmacked at the professionalism of the tiny being. Hello, Izuku. I'm Torino. If you wish to try a little one, I don't mind. Torino smiled softly, just as the door opened, and in came a panicking, tall, blonde-haired male. Inko hadn't even realized the door had been closed, but noticed the man was rather attractive with stunning blue eyes and a muscular build. She didn't usually pay attention to looks, or to any male for that matter since her husband's death, but she noticed him. She barely reached the middle of his chest. Talk about feel even tinier. Sir, he gasped, staring at Torino. I'm all right, Yagi. Now shush. Izuku, try it. The girl nodded. She climbed onto the chair on the other side of the bed and carefully opened the wrap on his arm, or tried to anyway. Mr. Baines, could I have some help, please? Izuku called, and the man went to help. Who's the little bean? Yagi, as she now knew his name, questioned. My daughter, Izuku. She has pink healing flames and wants to help him. Inko answered, drawing his gaze to her own. That's amazing. When did she get it, if I may ask? Today. But Izuku is far more intelligent than I realized. She already said that she already knows how it works. My kid is amazing. Their attention was caught from seeing flames burst in Izuku's hands. Even the coating on the man's chest had been carefully removed, showing the true extent of the burns. Everyone watched as she took a calming breath before lowering them to the horrendous knife injury that literally ran from his wrist to shoulder. Had someone used a literal machete or something for that? Because it was gruesome. Also, how hadn't he bled out from that injury too? Inko had no idea how her baby bean could stomach being that close. Even from where she was standing, it made her feel queasy. Then again, Inko did have a weak stomach for that sort of thing. The flames erupted over the injuries, dancing across the damaged flesh, making Torino let out a sigh of relief. Izuku had a look of pure concentration on her face, something Inko usually saw when she's figuring something out or utterly engrossed in her books, etc. A few minutes later, the flames vanished and Izuku collapsed. Mr. Baines caught and settled her in the chair properly, then make sure that she was okay. The other doctors surrounded Torino, who pulled the mask off and sat up properly. The injuries had been healed entirely until not even a scar remained. Torino turned to Izuku, who smiled. That was truly incredible, Izuku. I didn't feel any pain at all. He praised. What did it feel like? Mr. Baines asked, handing Izuku a small cup of water, which she gave thanks. Like I was being wrapped in a warm hug. I could feel my injuries healing, but it was as though someone was going over them with a soft brush, if that makes sense. He replied, carefully stretching his newly healed arm out. Izuku then stood up and touched his bare arm. I'm happy that I could help and that you're no longer hurt. Thank you for trusting me, Mr. Torino. Kid, this is an incredible quirk you have. I'm sure you'll do amazing things when you grow up. Torino praised, and Izuku smiled wide, making many of the doctors squint from the brightness. I hope so. Add in the other quirks. I'll be the best hero and or doctor I can be. Izuku cheered. You want to be a hero, little one? Yagi questioned. I do, Mr. Yagi, but not for fame or money or posing silly in front of cameras. I want to be the hero of the ones in the shadows. Villains too, because 99% of the time, it's not their fault. That stopped everyone from what they were doing and focused on the girl, who didn't shy away. Villains too. What do you mean by that, Izuku? Torino asked, smiling softly at the girl. They're the ones who are treated wrong and badly in our flashy quirk-based society, so I want to change that, to show they're not alone, and I'll listen and help them in any way that I can. No one has weak, useless, or villainous quirks. It's purely in how someone uses it. No one is born evil or wrong, which goes for quirkless people too, but it's from the way that society has sadly failed to give the guiding hand that they need due to quirk discrimination, bullies, and not being told the right way to treat people. At the end of the day, everyone has a heart and emotions, as we're human. Izuku answered, beaming proudly in her answer. That's incredible. Are you sure you're truly a kid? Torino teased, making her giggle. I'm 4, so yes. Ms. Midoriya, you said about her having an advanced IQ for her age, but this is beyond anything I've seen in a child before. Another doctor said, that's my baby for you. I admit, she's always been like that though, so I didn't think it was that different. Inko shrugged. It was the truth. But seeing this, she realized just how right they were. So, Izuku has got pink healing flames. That's impressive. What else do you think it'll do? Yagi asked. I don't have just pink flames, Mr. Yagi. I can feel that I have more. Plus my other 2 quirks too. Izuku smiled before getting off the chair and going to her. What other ones do you have, Izuku? Torino asked curiously. Mr. Nakamura, can you tell them please? Izuku glanced at the doctor as she brought out her water bottle and a small throwaway box of already prepared fruit to munch on. She plopped on the side of Torino's bed, offering him some fruit too, which he happily accepted with a grin. That was her baby, always caring and sharing things. Inko had truly lucked out with her kind-hearted daughter. Sure thing. Okay, Izuku has... He then explained the quirks as he'd told both Izuku and Inko during the examination. That's amazing. What are they called? Mr. Baines asked. Blaze, Demon, Angel, Queen, and Fami. Inko answered that question. Suddenly panicked shouts for help could be heard in the hallway, and the doctors rushed out, leaving just Inko, Izuku, and the 2 men behind. Izuku glanced sadly at the door, but Torino patted her arm. It's okay, little one. They'll be all right and help whoever needs it. He reassured her. I know they will. Doctors and nurses are heroes too. Izuku nodded in conviction before shoving a slice of apple in her mouth with an adorable giggle. making Inko's heart melt. She's remarkable, Yagi whispered. You have no idea. It's a little hard raising her as a single mother, but I'm doing the best I can. Either way, you're doing a fantastic job, seeing how she instantly wanted to help. Yagi said, Thank you, Mr. Yagi. Quick, we need someone with a strong healing quirk, or he won't last another 10 minutes. Surgery is too far. Came a panicked holler, and the door was thrown open again, startling the four. Ms. Midoriya, can I please borrow Izuku to help? Mr. Bain said, seemingly a little frustrated. Izuku, want to help? She turned to her daughter. Yes. She gave Torino the last of the fruit, jumped down, and ran to the man. Behave and listen what Mr. Baines tells you, baby. I'll wait here. Izuku nodded and they left. Hearing the commotion, she couldn't help but be curious though, so peeked out and gasped, not realizing that she'd grabbed Yagi's hand in panic. Laying on a bed, surrounded by doctors, was Endeavor, flame quirk still active, clearly in too much pain to deactivate it, which meant barely anyone could get near him from the heat. He's in even worse condition than Torino had been. No one wanted to move him much anymore, not with a huge hunk of metal sticking out of his stomach. He was also wide awake, panting furiously from the pain. Back up now, Bane shouted, and they did. He lifted Izuku on the end of the bed, who now had her own fireproof scrubs and such on, even if they were ridiculously too big. Hello, Mr. Endeavor. My name is Izuku. I'm going to help and get you back on your feet fast to kick, but and save many more people. Izuku smiled wide at him, patting his leg in reassurance. Inko had a full view of them, considering they were sideways for some reason. What exactly can a kid do? Someone questioned, making Izuku's head turn fast to stare the nurse down with a haughty look no kid should have mastered. You know, help with that rude attitude, sir. He needs reassurance and help. That's what I'm going to do. So please, shut up. She growled before focusing back on the man. She moved to be beside his stomach. His flames didn't hurt her either, which surprised everyone there, including Endeavor. That's amazing, Yagi mumbled, giving her hand a squeeze. Inko was startled and peered up at him. Sure is. She leaned into him, grateful for someone to be there for her, as it was nerve-wracking. Stop, you'll get hurt, kid. Endeavor bit out. No, I won't. Mr. Baines, when I nod, please remove the metal. Izuku directed the man. Got it. Like a little hero, Mr. Baines said, making her smile before her face changed into one of total focus. He'd already put on scrubs, gloves, and a full face mask. Everyone was skeptical as to why he was listening to a little girl, but that soon changed when he got into position and her hands ignited entirely in near neon pink flames. Please don't move, Mr. Endeavor, and I'm sorry it'll hurt for a few minutes. Izuku mumbled before nodding to the doctor. He instantly pulled out the metal with no hesitation, BLD spurting and Endeavor roaring in pain. Luckily, it wasn't that deep that any vital organs, etc., were punctured/torn. Izuku didn't so much as flinch or hesitate as her hands went right onto the wound. Everyone present, including Inko and Yagi, stared in rapt fascination as they watched that ghastly wound heal, almost like it was reversing itself. Endeavor let out a deep sigh of relief, collapsing into the bed, as Izuku sent more onto him, literally bathing his stomach in pink flames. Even the BLD was burned away. He turned his quirk off, making it so only his face was the usual flames, and 5 minutes later, the pink disappeared and Izuku collapsed, unconscious into the hero's muscular arms. Mr. Baines leapt into action, checking her over. Inko also dashed over, highly worried for her baby. Is she okay? She demanded. She's fine. It's a drawback for now, considering it only manifested today. Mr. Baines replied. Only today, and she's got that much control already, Endeavor queried, glancing at Inko before staring back at the little girl in his arms. He held one out so a nurse could quickly put in a needle to give him a BLD transfusion, considering he'd lost a lot, as well as fluids so he wasn't dehydrated. Yes, she's more advanced with a higher IQ than normal, so that probably helped too. All Izuku wants to do is help people, even villains. Inko proudly told the pro hero. That's highly impressive. Well, when she wakes up, Please tell her that I said thank you for saving my life. She's already my hero." He smiled softly at Inko, who beamed. "You're very welcome. I'll make sure to tell her for you." She was then handed Izuku, after Mr. Baines had carefully removed the bloodied scrubs and cuddled her baby, who buried her face in her neck. "Want me to carry those books and belongings to your car for you, Ms. Midoriya?" Nakamura asked. "Books? Those are more like tomes. But yes, that would be most appreciated. Thank you." She smiled at the helpful doctor. "Ms. Midoriya, Torino is asking for you for a moment." Yagi called. She bowed to the doctors, nurses, and Endeavor, before going to the room, leaving Yagi in the corridor to talk to the Flame Hero, as they seemed to know each other. Upon entering the room, Torino stared at her with a bit of worry. "Is she okay?" He motioned to the sleeping child. "She's perfect, so no need to worry. Just exhausted from healing Endeavor." "That's good. There is something that I'd like to talk to you about, if possible." "Of course." She sat on the edge of his bed, adjusting Izuku a little. "I'm a retired pro hero, and well, I was wondering if you'd perhaps allow me to train Izuku as she grows up. Help her MSTR her quirks, on top of learning various martial arts to not rely on her quirks all the time. Also, the educational side, if needed. I understand we've just met, but I can already tell that precious girl has the full potential to become an astounding hero and role model." "Oh, that's generous of you, Mr. Torino. I won't mind at all, and I'm sure Izuku won't either. If she's safe and it's in a controlled environment, I have no problems with you helping her. It'll certainly help in having someone train her than me. I'll be the first to admit, I'm at a total loss in how to help my daughter in that regard." Inko sighed, frustrated by that fact. "Great. Also, don't feel bad about it. At least now you have help, Ms. Midoriya," Torino stated. "I do indeed. Oh, here, put your number in, and I'll either ring or text you to arrange everything. Also, please call me Inko from now on, considering you're no doubt going to become a very big part of my daughter's life." Inko handed him her phone after struggling a little to get it out of her bag. He typed it in, saving the information before sending a text to himself, so he also had her number. "All done, and please call me Torino too." Inko put in her bag and stood up. "Thank you. I'll let you rest now and get this munchkin home. I'm glad she was able to help you, and thank you again for volunteering to help train Izuku for the future." "No problem at all. Take care, okay?" "To you as well, by Torino." She bowed slightly, gathered hers and Izuku's bag, and left. The corridor was now clear, with Endeavor being placed in a private room for observation. Only Nakamura, Mr. Baines, and Yagi were there, patiently waiting for them. As she approached, Nakamura took her things, seeing as she was struggling a little. "Thank you." She smiled softly. "No problem. Ready to get going?" Nakamura questioned. "Definitely. I wasn't expecting the day to go like this, that's for sure." She chuckled. "I don't think anyone was. But we are profoundly grateful for Izuku's help. Also, do you mind if I go into her records and get your number, so if she wishes to learn more on the medical side, I'll personally oversee that?" Mr. Baines said. "Not at all, Mr. Baines. That'll be fantastic for her. I'm sure, if given the opportunity, she'll do it all over again and helping without hesitation." Inko adjusted Izuku as she slipped a little. Mr. Baines smiled wide at that and nodded in agreement. "I wouldn't be surprised. She's an astounding little girl already, and I know she'll be a fantastic pro hero or doctor, or whatever else she wants to do when she's older." Yagi smiled. "Thank you, Mr. Yagi. Now I must excuse myself and get her home. Take care, okay?" "I will. Nice to meet you, Ms. Midoriya." He bowed his head at her with a grin. "Bye, Ms. Midoriya." Mr. Baines also bowed. "You, as well, gentlemen." She smiled and left with Nakamura. They were in a comfortable silence as they collected the books and headed to her car. He put them in the boot, while she put Izuku into the car seat, buckling her in safely. As she rightened herself, she turned to the quirk specialist, who had put the bags on the passenger seat. "Thank you for everything. Sorry it took quite a bit of your time, though." "Ah, Izuku was my last quirk appointment today anyway, so don't worry about it. Now, I'll let you head on home, and it was lovely to meet you." "To you as well. Thanks for everything." He waved and headed back into the hospital. Inko got into the driver's seat and sighed. She was mentally exhausted. Her phone then rang, so she quickly got it out. Peering quickly at the ID, saw that it was Mitsuki. She connected the call. "Hello, Mitsuki." The faint sound of screaming could be heard in the background. "Hey, babes, when are you coming over?" Katsuki has already thrown 2 huge temper tantrums demanding that his Izu come over. Katsuki was her 2-year-old son, who literally adored Izuku. It was honestly endearing seeing them together. He also was extremely well behaved for her too. "Oh, bless him. I'm on the way. Just leaving the hospital now. It has been a long day already, and I'll explain when I get there, okay?" "Great. I'll see you soon, and get a coffee made as it sounds like you need one." "You have no idea. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. "Sure, babes. Bye." "Bye, Mitz." She hung up and put the phone away. Mama." She peered over her shoulder at the sleepy voice. She smiled at seeing Izuku sitting up more, rubbing her eyes. "Hey, sweet pea. We just left the hospital now and going to Mitsuki's. Oh, Torino and Endeavor send their heartfelt thanks to you for healing them, calling you their little hero." She handed her the water bottle she'd had earlier, which was happily accepted. "Ah, yay." Izuku cheered, now fully awake as she reversed out the parking spot. She put the radio on and headed to Mitsuki's, singing along with Izuku to the songs playing. 10 minutes later, they arrived. She grabbed their things, unclipped Izuku, and they headed to the door, hearing Katsuki screaming the house down in a fit. She knocked, and the door opened to reveal a tired Masaru. "Hey, Inko and Izuku. Glad you could come over. Izu, go settle him. Could you please, honey? He's been screaming for you." Masaru asked, and she nodded. They entered, shoes off, and went into the living room. Inko sniggered at seeing a red-faced, tear-streaked Katsuki in his playpen, yelling, "Firecracker, I'm here." Izuku called happily, and he instantly shut up in hearing her, before grinning wide. Mostly because Izuku was Katsuki's absolute favorite person ever, so it hadn't surprised anyone in the least when his first word had been Izu, which they'd thought was adorable. "Izu, Izu, Izu," he chanted, stamping his little feet in excitement. Masaru got him out, and he wobbled over to Izuku, who dashed forward to wrap her arms around him. "Hi, my firecracker." She kissed his cheek, getting a giggle and toothy grin in reply before carefully wiping his face with a wet wipe she'd been handed. Mitsuki sighed as she emerged from the kitchen. "Why did Katsuki suddenly stop screaming, Masaru?" she asked before realizing. "Hey, Mitsuki." Inko chuckled at her best friend's face that showed how relieved she was. Masaru took the kids to the couch, sitting them comfortably, and put cartoons on. Blanket over their laps, Katsuki happily tucked in tight against Izu's side, which made her instantly take a photo. So precious. Both were clearly exhausted. Katsuki from crying and screaming. Izuku because of using her new quirk twice already. She knew it wouldn't be long before both kids would be sound asleep. "So, how did it go at the hospital for the quirk checkup?" Mitsuki questioned. They moved to the kitchen to grab their hot drinks and settled at the dining table that let them see the kids perfectly. "It's been a total whirlwind. I'm telling you this in total confidence because you're my best friends and family. Izuku has 3 quirks, and she's already helped 2 people." She took a sip of coffee, sighing happily at the bitter taste. She was more of a tea drinker, but liked a coffee now and again. "Help in what way?" Masaru asked. "Heal them entirely. She has pink healing flames. One was a retired pro hero called Torino, and the other was Endeavor. Both were seriously injured, but not once did she hesitate to help. I'm so proud of her," Inko said before taking another sip of the hot beverage. "Oh, that hit the right spot. That's incredible. Wait, you said 3 quirks. What else does our smart girl have?" Mitsuki demanded. Inko chuckled and told them what they were, leaving them with mouths open in shock. "Izu is seriously OP," Masaru chuckled. Mitsuki cackled with a grin at her husband's comment. "Mama, can I show them?" Izuku's voice reached them. The adults got up and went to the kids. "Sure, baby, but only for a minute as you've already done a lot, and I don't want you using it anymore today." Izuku nodded and moved Katsuki away a little bit and got to her feet. Look at this firecracker." She held her hands out, and orange flames erupted. Katsuki, of course, instantly reached out to touch them, and Izuku moved out of reach, making him whine. "Izu." He stared at her, red eyes narrowed, almost like he was preparing to scream again. "This is for you, Bubba." He instantly shut up as Izuku closed her eyes to focus, before opening them a few seconds later, just as the flames grew to about the size of an A4 piece of paper. It changed to resemble a detailed dragon and took off. Inko was astonished and peered at her daughter, who had that look of concentration on her face again. The flame dragon twisted and rolled in the air, making Katsuki cackle in glee and clap his hands as ruby eyes sparkled in total awe. It slowly landed on her hands, literally blew the baby boy a kiss before turning back into normal flames, then it vanished. "That was truly incredible, Izuku." Mitsuki cheered, hugging the girl. "Thank you, Annie." "Woo, Izu." Katsuki giggled. Mitsuki let Izuku go, and Inko smiled as she got back on the couch and cuddled with the boy, blanket again over them. Izuku let out a yawn and sunk into the cushions. "Go to sleep, baby. I know you're tired. I'll wake you in a little while." Inko reassured her. "Okay, Mama. Come on, Cat, it's sleepy time." She kissed his cheek, and just like that, the kids closed their eyes and fell asleep, arms locked securely around each other. The parents took photos of the precious moment before going back to the dining table. Inko rubbed her eyes as everything swiftly caught up with her. It had been a total roller coaster of a day already, that's for DMN sure. Years later, Izuku was now 13. It was also her birthday, and she was at the Todoroki's house after spending a few hours with just Rei and Fuyumi. She'd quickly befriended their eldest son, Touya, in school 2 weeks after gaining her quirks when he joined. A month later, she'd met his family, with Endeavor instantly recognizing her and made her day by giving her a huge hug. After that, they're as close as actual family with Rei, Inko, and Mitsuki becoming literally the best of friends. They're the dignified, headstrong, and fiercely protective yet loving matriarchs of their households. She was at theirs because her mom was running some errands, then getting the Bakugus and meeting there, along with her husband and Izuku's stepdad, Tashinori Yagi, and her self-adopted, much-loved grandpa and personal trainer, Gran Torino, plus another guest that she didn't know were also joining. Her uncle Mirai Sasaki, or Sir Night-Eye, couldn't join due to being busy, but he'd sent her a present over with a loving text. She'd see him in a few days, so that was all right. She now had full control over her quirks, fantastic yet deadly hand-to-hand combat ability, could use a wide range of weapons with skill, and do a vast assortment of gymnastics and martial arts too. She also had advanced medical knowledge after becoming exceptionally good friends with Mr. Baines and Nakamura, who she'd met when she was 4. She's also a somewhat genius at making support items, using her natural smarts as well as having help from one of the top support companies in Japan after helping the CEO's son when he'd gotten into a car wreck, effectively saving him from losing both legs. It was safe to say that Izuku's life was busy, but she loved it. Majority of the time, Touya joined her and gained extensive knowledge in the medical field after watching her in the doctor's work, even helping a lot too. Torino trained him sometimes too, as did Endeavor. Yagi did none of that, as he was more of the fun dad when not working and making sure that she still had somewhat of a childhood and fun, like taking the kids to amusement parks, carnivals, etc. You'd think he'd be run ragged by that, but they always behaved perfectly, and majority of the time, the kids listened to Izuku and Touya and always stuck close to the already powerful duo. By kids, that meant the Todoroki triplets, Shoto, Natsuo, and Fuyumi, then her firecracker baby brother, Katsuki Bakugo. Even with everything going on in her life, she was still one of the top students in school, keeping her grades up as there was no reason in being sloppy, as well as one of the nicest people to teach due to her politeness and willingness to help. Most of the students and teachers loved her. She even did a study group with Touya during lunches on Tuesdays and Thursdays to help others, which most were very grateful for. Right now, she was in her knee-length, flowy red tartan halter neck dress and her new chain black calf-length 6-inch high-heel boots, dancing in the garden with Fuyumi, who was giggling along in her pale pink dress and matching dolly shoes. Izuku was maturing rapidly into a very appealing woman, and her body was already shaping into a stunning, curvy figure. Even though it was obvious she worked out religiously to be in top physical condition, she was still squishy in the right places. The song changed into a fast-paced one, and the girls laughed. "Boys, come and join us," she called to the three who were watching from the shade. They weren't massive fans of being in the hot rays of direct sunshine for long, but Izuku loved it. "No thanks, Angel. I'll stay here for now," Touya said, holding his cold drink to his cheek. He decided to not actually wear sweatpants for a change, instead opting to match Izuku. But his tartan shirt was different shades of blues which made his turquoise eyes pop, along with ripped black jeans and black combat boots. It showed off his muscular build perfectly. He wasn't like his dad in being a hulking beast in muscles, but more the lean side, even if he was only 13. Izuku knew that he already had an impressive and prominent four-packed abs, as they worked out together a lot, and he'd taken to being topless halfway through most times due to sweating so much. She was the same, usually opting for a sports BR covered by CRP/tank top and shorts. What can they say, though? They didn't do anything in half measure, and usually trained until they could barely walk some days. "I'm content to stay here right now, but next time we can eyes on I promise." Natsuo plopped onto one of the chairs. He wore washed-out jeans and a light gray tank top with white trainers. A black beanie in a lightweight fabric covered most of his hair. "Okay, eyes on I." Shoto instantly joined, making her laugh. He was in normal jeans rolled up to the middle of his calves, a red shirt with matching red trainers. They held hands and danced their little hearts out, giggling as they did. Today was about being carefree and enjoying themselves. They heard talking but ignored it. When the song finished, they collapsed to the floor in a heap. "I'm dead but alive." Izuku cheered, arms raised, making them chuckle at her dramatics. "Izuku and I." They heard someone scream, and she leapt to her feet, like she wore trainers instead of those deadly heels, just in time to catch the flying body of an explosive 11-year-old ash blonde who barreled out the house like he'd been shot from a cannon. They knew who it was instantly. Firecracker. She hugged him tightly. He looked amazing in black jeans with white tartan patches and a black t-shirt with punk rocks not dead splashed across in white. Checked Converse on his feet. That top had been hers, but he'd stolen it with a broad grin on his face. She wasn't angry about that, considering it didn't fit her anymore and she'd worn it maybe twice. At least he happily wore it. He also hardly ever swore in her presence either, as he respected and loved her hell of a lot. Happy birthday to the best big sister ever. He kissed her cheek before handing her a box wrapped in black and orange wrapping paper with her name and a heart scrawled on the top. Well, didn't that make her heart melt? He was so bloody adorable, like seriously. Then again, her and Katsuki had always had a remarkably close bond, ever since he'd been born. "Ah, thank you, Firecracker." She put the gift with the others, wanting to open them when everyone was together. Glancing at the home, she saw the adults emerging. "Hey, everyone." She waved with a beaming smile. She spotted a lady in pink boots, black ankle-length skirt, and a pale pink blouse with her grandpa, and knew who she was. It's the youthful heroine, Recovery Girl. Izuku barely suppressed her inner fangirl. She was a total legend in the medical field with her quirk and knowledge. Also happened to be one of her idols. They approached, and she swooped in for a loving hug with her grandpa, who chuckled and returned the embrace. "Happy birthday, Izuku." He handed over a present. "Thank you. Happy birthday, sweetie. It's a pleasure to finally meet you in person," Recovery Girl said, handing over a box. She took it and was surprised by the weight. "Thank you, Recovery Girl. Also, finally meet me." She placed those down. "Ah, please call me Chio when I'm not working. Yes, your grandpa is forever proudly telling me about his amazing and intelligent granddaughter that he's personally trained." She smiled at that and saw Torino blushing slightly. She winked at him, and he rolled his eyes with a smirk. "Happy birthday again, my girl." Her dad hauled her into a hug, making her burst out with laughter before returning the love-filled embrace. He was a huge part of her life, more so with marrying her mother just after she turned 6. despite not being able to have kids together, didn't stop him from loving and spoiling her any less. She also knew he was all might, which didn't bother her. End of the day, he was her dad, simple as that. She wasn't going to use her connection to him to cheat her way in life. She was going to earn that through BLD, sweat, tears, hard work, and determination. They're even closer now, though, after nearly losing him at the beginning of last year when he'd fought and killed a highly dangerous villain, which was kept out of the media, and she'd healed him entirely. Thanks, Dad. Happy birthday, baby. Just do me a favor and stop growing up. I still remember when you were 4. Go back to that age, please. Inko playfully chided as she was put down. Which time when I was 4? She sassed, grinning, knowing full well that had been a roller coaster of a year for them both, considering that's when Izuku had dived headlong into falling in love with medicine and expanding her healing capabilities with proper guidance. On top of everything else, yet in true Izuku fashion, she took it on with an unbreakable will and sheer dedication. All of it. Her mom hugged her before she was swiftly pulled away and into the loving, yet strong arms of her Auntie Mitsuki and Uncle Masaru. Happy birthday, Izu. We love you, our sunshine. They both kissed her cheeks, giving her a gift. Thank you. I love you both, too. She put the present down, then was hugged by Ray. Happy birthday again, Munchkin. Izuku sank into the hold. She always gave amazing hugs. That was short-lived as she was hauled into strong arms, picked up and squished. Uncle, she squealed, kicking her legs, thankful she had shorts on under her dress, or they'd see her underwear, which was a big no. Inji just laughed and ruffled her hair after putting her down. She huffed and sorted out, even though the long black mass was down already. You love it. Anyway, even though I already said it, happy birthday, my little hero. Thank you. She beamed. Even these two were astoundingly close. Oh, let's take some family photos. Fuyumi called out. That's an amazing idea. Get your things, Yumi. Ray said, and the girl dashed inside. Where should we stand for this? Mitsuki asked. How about by the wall of ivy and roses? Izuku offered. Perfect. What about some individual ones with the birthday girl, too? Her mum said as they went to the wall. Fuyumi quickly reappeared with her camera, laptop, and tripod in hand. It was a new hobby she'd gotten into big time, and the photos she took were almost already at a professional level. Izuku had shown her how to do editing and touch-ups on her laptop, even adding in different backgrounds too. Last weekend, they'd spent at the hospital taking photos for the children and their families with different props, etc., making it a fun, happy day and getting their minds off being sick. Izuku had even taken a green screen for extra effect. That's a great idea, the wives declared. Touya had his arms curled securely around her, happily hugging her from behind, as usual. She twisted and hugged him properly, but soon grunted as a body slammed in her back and from either side. Izu sandwich. Natsuo yelled before they squished her. No. Attack of the mean boys. Help. She playfully whined. No one did, though, as they instead just snickered at her misfortune. Of course, all 4 boys did this a lot, which was their compromise of hugging her at once. She didn't hate it, but that wasn't the point. Okay, Liza and I go. Picture time. Fuyumi came to the rescue, slapping their hands enough to make them let go, then pulled her away. That hurt, Yumi, Shoto said, rubbing his hands. Oh well, get ready. She ordered, and they dashed off. Izuku chuckled and joined in. The adults at the back, kids in the middle with Torino and Chio right at the front. The boys slightly bickered over who got to stand beside Izuku, but that was swiftly sorted thanks to Chio and Torino. It was Touya and Katsuki first. Then it was changed to Natsuo and Shoto, which no one argued about. Fuyumi was in front of Izuku, who had her arms around the smaller female. Everyone had wide, happy smiles for each picture. Then it was individual shots. Okay, we'll go Fuyumi, then Katsuki, Shoto, Natsuo, Touya. No arguments. Ray ordered, and they nodded frantically in agreement. Her mom was operating the camera. Izuku instantly got into position with Yumi, holding hands, but giggled as Ray put appealing red rose flower crowns on their heads. Both posed with a peace sign and bright smiles as the picture was taken. Izu and I, Can we please take one of where you do the heart in pink flames? Fuyumi asked. Heart in pink flames? Inji questioned, making her look at her uncle. I've been practicing using my flames more. I can create a wide variety of shapes instead of just the dragon that I usually do for Cat. I can also it in a multitude of different colors. I've even got it down to an art of where they don't burn anyone or anything unless I want them to, no matter the color used. Izuku explained. She brought forth the pink flames, which were pretty much neon now, and manipulated them to resemble a burning heart. She moved her hands, making it bigger until it was in front of them, so the top half of their bodies peeked through the middle. The picture was instantly taken, and everyone went to look at the result. Izuku extinguished the heart while staring happily at her precious family, who surrounded the laptop that was hooked up to the camera. Her shoulders then started to itch and realized she needed to let her wings out. She'd suppressed them for too long yet again. They'd all seen them, well apart from Chiyo, but only Inko, Touya, and Torino had seen her full transformation. She reached up to itch the blades, sighing as it helped a little. Itching again. How long have you had them suppressed this time? For Izunai. Her gaze lifted to collide with Katsuki's burning rubies. Too long, Cat. But I think this time it'll be the entire form. She mumbled. Please show it. I bet it's badass. He begged. Everyone had focused on their conversation now. Full form. Chiyo inquired. My full form, Demon Angel Queen. It's one of 3 quirks I have. Only Touya, Grandpa, and Mum have seen it fully, though. Please let us see, Izunai. Natsuo begged too. Sure, this dress should be able to handle the change. Luckily, I have spare clothes in Touya's room, so that'll help if anything happens. She frequently stayed over, ever since the age of 6, so had clothes here like Touya did at hers. Ray said it had been fine from then, and she didn't disagree. Go get them, sweetheart. Then you can change if anything happens. Ray smiled, and she nodded, before handing over the flower crown so it wouldn't be damaged, then bolted to the bedroom. She headed to the part of the wardrobe Touya had happily given her and snagged some clothes, settling on black ripped jeans and her red tartan zipper top that only showed a little of her midriff off. She'll change to her fireproof black combats, finishing the look off, plus it'd be better for her feet. She was a rocker at heart and doubted that it'd ever change. You can thank Nakamura for introducing her to that world. Heading back downstairs and outside, she put the clothes and boots on a chair and went back to the family. Once again, her shoulders itched. So DMN infuriating. Okay, stay back for safety. This is my full form now that my wings have fully grown, which is why it's so itchy suddenly, if I remember what I was told before. She warned. She rolled her shoulders before bringing out her black wings. Each feather was outlined in pale silver and were now, at their fullest, being 6 feet long and from tip to tip, span 8 feet, which explained the itchiness. They'd grown to their full size, just as Nakamura had said. 2 horns now protruded from just before her hairline, arching to the sides a bit before curling back in with the tips pointing up, and were solid black and shimmering silver, like pale glitter. A halo of glowing white appears between them. Her eyes become clearer and seem to have silver specks in the green depths. Fingernails grow an inch-ish past her fingertips, coal black, and were now sharply pointed. Lips were stained BLD red. Features became a bit more prominent as well, including slightly sharper cheekbones that looked seriously good with her minimal makeup. Thankfully, the dress held the change with 0 problems. When done, in just 30 seconds, she peered at everyone. Those who didn't know what to expect were flabbergasted. Izunai, you look totally badass. Katsuki praised, coming over to touch a wing, which she nodded to when he raised a hand for silent permission. Shoto joined in, touching the other in utter awe. Thanks, Firecracker. Want to see something else? Yes, please. The boys stepped away, and she called forth Blaze, with emerald green flames. Touya, come here. Are we doing that new move we created that we usually do for the kids at the hospital to cheer them up? He questioned as he approached before facing her. Sure are. What about doing butterflies this time? Sounds a plan. He activated his quirk and raised his hands to lock with her own. The flames melded together, creating an appealing mix of green and blue, reminding those watching of the ocean. Izuku then shifted the flames into butterflies that flew around. You can touch them. They won't burn you. Katsuki held a hand straight out, and one landed on him before the wings fluttered and it took off again. Everyone else did as well, and Fuyumi gasped in delight as one went on her palm, tickling a little. Izuku called the flames back, which rushed to her and Touya's hands. "Do the big finish," Touya said, and she nodded. More flames poured from their hands, spinning around the two in a dazzling display of power and control. She sent it soaring into the air, making a huge butterfly that burst apart. She smiled wide at Touya, who did the same. What they hadn't realized was that Inko had taken a photo of them at that exact moment before the flames went up and just after, forever capturing the adorable scene. Their hands dropped, and she spun to them. "So what did you think? That was some serious control you kids have got there," Torino said proudly. "Thanks, Grandpa. What else can you do, Izuku?" Masaru asked. "I can fly. Do pretty much anything an angel or demon can do. My wings are strong. I can harden them to become pretty much bullet/quirk proof and are also as sharp as anything if I wish it. My fingernails can cut through steel in this form. I can use blades in all forms too, like usual." "Can we fly, Aizu and I?" Shoto asked shyly. "I'll take you up, Sho, but not go anywhere as it's illegal for me to do so unless on private land, and I have permission," she answered. "Okay." He nodded and dashed over. She picked him up bridal style, and his arms instantly looped around her neck. "You'll need to hold on tightly, Shoto. Trust me," Touya stated before stepping away. She shot up with a powerful push of her legs. Wings flapped until they hovered a good 300 feet above the ground. She loved this. It was so freeing. "Look, Sho." She kissed his forehead, and he raised his head to peer around before letting out a gasp. They could see the sheer beauty of Japan from here, and it was astounding. "This is amazing." His gaze flickered over everything he could, marveling over the way the sunshine reflected off everything. They stayed up there for a few minutes before she began to descend. Once her feet touched the ground, she let the dual-quirked user down, who eagerly went to his parents and ranted about everything he'd seen and showed the picture he'd taken on his phone. "Can I get the next photo now, please?" "But Aizu and I, can you stay in that form?" Katsuki queried. "Sure, Katsuki." "Izuku, get into position, sweetheart." Her mother called, and she peered over as her baby brother ran over with a broad grin. "How do you want the shot done?" She rolled her shoulders. "The whole badass statement. Your wings spread wide. Fire around us with my explosions. Along with our usual smirks, please." Katsuki appeared so proud that it made her chuckle. "Like we've done before, only I'm in my full form." "Yeah." He smirked, and she shook her head playfully with a smile. "What color flames do you want? Mix it up a bit." "Okay, get into position, firecracker." He crouched in front of her, a dirty smirk plastered on his face as he focused on the camera. Touya shot her a sly grin as she ignited blaze into the top part of her wings in a fiery display of multiple colors that melded together perfectly. Black flames in her palms that were raised level with her chest as she focused on the camera and did a prideful smirk. The photo was taken, and she instantly put the flames out as Katsuki ran to see the result. What she hadn't told him was that she'd made it appear that he had a crown of hot orange flames. "Aizu and I, that's so cool." Katsuki gasped upon seeing the result, rubies gleaming when he noticed that she'd given him a fire crown. She wandered over and had a look. It was better than she'd thought. "Sure is. I'll have to get all these printed on a canvas or something and get enough copies for all of us, more so the entire family wants." There was no mistaking that Izuku loved having photos taken with her family and friends, as one of her walls at home was mostly covered in them. "That'll be amazing if you could do that, Izuku," Mitsuki said. Shoto's turn. Ray chirped, gently pushing the youngest triplet towards her. "What kind of photo do you want, Sho?" she asked. "Just a normal one of us hugging, but your wings around us, please, as that always makes me feel safe." He smiled softly. Izuku nodded and turned most of her quirk off, leaving just the wings in place. He instantly cuddled into her, and she wrapped the feathers around him in a protective manner. They were standing sideways, staring at the camera with a smile. It was simple, yet perfect. "Oh, that's truly appealing," Ray cried, staring at the laptop screen. Inji just chuckled at his wife's dramatics, putting his arm around her waist. "My turn." Natsuo chuckled and went over as she let Shoto go with a kiss to his cheek, normal like Sho did. She asked the outgoing triplet, "Yeah, but no wings. Can we sit on the floor and do the rock sign we usually do?" He bounced on the spot. Well, someone was eager. Izuku chuckled and nodded in agreement. "Sounds good to me. Fuyumi, you'll have to move the camera a bit lower." "Okay, sweet pea. No problem." She gave a thumbs up before lowering the tripod a bit. She put her wings in as Inko dashed over and plopped the flower crown back on her head. She didn't bother fighting it and just sat down, legs crossed, but nothing was on show. Natsuo settled beside her and threw his legs over her lap. Both focused on the camera, hands up in a rock sign, tongues out with grins. Fuyumi took the shot and Natsuo moved to get up, but she tackled him, making him laugh as she tickled him. "I got that shot too." She heard Yumi cackle. "I give." Izuku, stop." Natsuo begged, trying to stop her hands. She stopped and helped him up with a smirk. Natsuo ran off, so she couldn't get him again and went to see the results. Touya joined her. "Our turn. How should we do this one?" Angel. "How about me on your back, but using flames? I'll give you horns, and I'll bring my halo and wings out." She smirked. "I like that idea, or side by side, holding hands." He chuckled. "Yeah, let's do that. What color horns do you want?" She instantly brought the wings and halo out, which didn't go unmissed by everyone else. "Black horns, it'll show more considering I've got white hair." Since the age of 10, his hair had turned snow white, and his flames had changed to that gorgeous blue color, plus much hotter to the level of cremation. Thank God they'd trained brutally, and now he could control the temperature. "Got it." She instantly did that, knowing it wouldn't burn him. They got into position, half facing each other, and their hands instantly interlocked. It was as natural as breathing for the duo, considering they do it often. Touya smirked devilishly, owning the fact he had flame horns, while Izuku smiled as bright as sunshine. The picture was snapped, then Touya rapidly turned, wrapped his arms around her tightly, and blew raspberries on her neck, making her shriek in laughter. She was trapped and couldn't escape. They were in their own world, unaware that the adults were taking photos of the utterly adorable moment. Touya finally stopped and just hugged her. Perks of him already being a full head taller than her, she fit more perfectly against him. Her wings wrapped around them as she snuggled closer. When they pulled apart, Katsuki ran over and grabbed her hand. "It's now present time for you, Izunai." He pulled her to the table as she snickered at his enthusiasm. Before she sat down, she deactivated her quirks. She began opening the gifts and loved every single one of them. Katsuki, like a good brother, grabbed the discarded wrapping paper and put it in a rubbish bag so it didn't go everywhere. Mitsuki and Masaru got her new combat boots and dragon skull earrings that she adored. Chiyo and Torino got her the latest books of top medical knowledge. Inji and Ray had given her money to get whatever she needed, plus some clothes, which she appreciated. Her parents got her new notebooks, on top of the newest books on support items and how to build/create them from scratch. Katsuki got her a keyring with a photo of them both in it, with Firecracker plus Angel equals family forever stamped on the back, along with a photo frame, holding a picture of all the kids from the day they'd spent at the water park the previous year with family underneath. The triplets got her clothes too. It finally came to the last present, which was from Touya. It was a small box in simple black covering, which she ripped off. Opening the jeweler box that was revealed, she gasped at what he'd gotten her. It was a short-spiked leather choker with a solid silver, highly detailed dragon skull dangling from a thick hoop at the front and a short chain either side. The exact one that she'd seen when the duo had gone to the mall for a day out and spontaneously gotten their ears and nose pierced. She lifted it out and turned to her best friend. She stood up as he smiled, clearly knowing what she was about to do. He didn't know her the best out of everyone, after all. Leaping into his arms, she wrapped herself around his lean frame and buried her face into his throat. Full-on koala mode. Touya chuckled, effortlessly holding her in place, as usual. "Thank you, Touya. I love it," she whispered, before giving his cheek a kiss. "You're welcome, Angel. I remember you seeing it in that store window as we passed by, so I went back a few days later with Dad and got it. Can you put on me, please?" "Sure. Get off, and I'll do that for you." She got off instantly, handed it to him, then turned, lifting her hair out of the way that needed to get cut eventually. The thick mass was nearly at her arse after all. That was too much effort most days, so it was either in a ponytail or a French braid. He made sure that it wasn't too tight. It's a buckle design instead of poppers to keep it in place, and so it wasn't easy to pull off or lose. When done, she got her phone and unlocked the camera to see it. "Perfect. What do you think?" she asked the parents. "Izu, it looks amazing on you," Mitsuki said, and the others agreed. "Not many can pull off chokers like that. But you certainly do, Izuku," Chio praised. "Thank you." She smiled. Touya hugged her again, while being joined by the other boys and Fuyumi. XXXXXXXXXXXX. A few hours later, it had now grown to almost dark, and the kids were sitting around the burning fire pit on the outdoor couches while the adults were in the house. Torino and Chio had gone home, though, as it was 8 p.m. and they were tired. Izuku was tucked in tight against Touya's side, reading her new medical book from Chio using the light of the fire to see, as he browsed on his phone and ran his fingers lazily through her hair. Katsuki was on her other side, pretty much on the verge of sleep with his face buried in her stomach and arms locked around her. Shoto, Natsuo, and Fuyumi were sitting opposite, playing on their Nintendo Switches. It had been an eventful and long day, with most of them feeling the effects of being in the scorching sunshine and dancing/mucking around like normal kids, on top of having stomachs full of the delicious barbecue that Enji had done, who'd been rather eager to use the new outdoor barbecue area he'd finally had installed. Izuku heard footsteps and peered over her shoulder. Mitsuki and her mom appeared, smiling at them. "We're gonna head off now, Izu, as Katsuki needs his bed." Mitsuki chuckled at her sleepy son. "No, want to stay with Izu and I." Katsuki whined sluggishly. "Next time, but we need to get you home. You can stay over at mine next weekend, Firecracker, after my shift at the hospital on Saturday, okay? But I want you to behave for your parents, and no stupid arguments or fights at school either. I heard about those, so don't bother trying to deny it," Izuku told him, brushing her fingers through his spiky, soft hair. He lifted his head to peer at her. "Promise that I can stay. I also guarantee that I'll behave. I promise. We'll also finish up the drawing for the design of your future hero mask. Okay? Can we make something too?" Katsuki loved to tinker with things like her, as that part of her had rubbed off on him, but it wasn't a bad thing as he only did it when he was with her in a controlled environment. They'd already designed the gauntlets, and she'd done his hero costume too, not that he knew that just yet. The same as she planned on talking to an ear specialist on Saturday about special protective earbuds for him too, because we all know his explosions are ridiculously loud. "Sure, we'll think of something, or you can look through the idea book again for something that takes your fancy." "Deal. I'll go home now then. Love you, big sister." He sat up to hug her properly. "I love you too, Firecracker." She returned the embrace before he went to his mom, who winked at her, mouthing thank you. She nodded. "Bye, guys." Katsuki waved. "Bye, Kat." The triplets chimed together. "Later's, Dynamite." Touya chuckled as Katsuki smirked. That was his other nickname, that he also decided on using officially as his future pro hero's name, which made both herself and Touya quite proud and hugged him tightly between them both when he boldly stated that. The Bakugus left with a smile, then her mom got her attention. "Ray said that you can stay the night, Izu. Toshi and I are also going to head home, and don't forget your shift at the hospital tomorrow." "Okay, sweetheart," Inko said. Izuku put her book down and leapt over the back of the couch she was on to hug her mother. "I won't forget. I start at 11 a.m., so plenty of time. I'll finish about 5 p.m., so I'll get to you after then head home. Is that okay?" she asked when they separated. "That's completely fine. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you." Inko squeezed her again. "I love you too, Mom. Get home safe." "Love you, kiddo." Her gaze went to the house, and Tashinori was in the doorway, waving at her. "I love you too, Dad." Then her parents were gone for the night, taking her presents with them, so she didn't have to lug them around the following day until she went home, which she was grateful for. Izuku flopped over the back of the couch, head landing on Touya's shoulder as the triplets raced inside for some unknown reason. Switches still clasped in palms, so probably to put them on charge. "Are you okay, Angel?" he asked, peering at her. "Yeah, I'm fine, babes. Do you want to head inside, get a shower, and watch a movie before going to sleep?" She questioned before standing properly, stretching, and letting out a yawn. "Yeah, that's a good idea. What genre do you fancy this time?" She grabbed her book as they walked towards the house after putting the fire out. "I really want to watch Iron Man." The duo were massive fans of the Marvel and DC movies, while also having all the comics too. They liked most genres, but not romance, rom-coms, etc. Those were just annoying. Give them a good action, adventure, horror, thriller, or decent anime any day. Hell, they even enjoy watching documentaries sometimes too. "We'll do that then," Touya agreed. "Awesome." She fist-pumped, and he snorted as they went to pass the kitchen and saw his parents. "We're going to get a shower, then watch a movie before bed, so we won't be back down anymore tonight. Okay?" He told them. "That's fine. It's been a long day, so understandable. I'll give you a lift to work tomorrow, before I go to the agency." "Okay, Izu," Enji said as she hugged them both. "Thank you, and I'd appreciate that. I also start at 11 a.m. Plus, thank you for letting me have my birthday here with everyone. It was amazing." She smiled happily. It was no lie. It had been fantastic. "You're welcome, sweetheart. Now go on to bed. Good night, kids." Ray kissed their cheeks. "Night." The duo chimed and left. Entering Touya's bedroom, Izuku put her book on the desk, and her bag was already on the bed. She ransacked the wardrobe for clean clothes to wear tomorrow. It'd be another hot day, so she settled on black jeans and a green tank top. "You can use the shower in here, Angel. I'll grab us some light snacks and drinks for the movie after using the shower in the main bathroom," Touya said after getting his own things out. She took her new choker off, putting on the desk, then grabbed a towel and pajamas. "Sure thing, babes." She went into his private bathroom. She removed all makeup before getting in, because she knew if she didn't, afterwards she'd look like a knockoff panda. Not attractive at all. About 20 minutes later, she was out and dressed in her new jammies that Ray had given her today, which were black shorts and a black tank top with Queen splashed across the chest in BLD red. Skin was moisturized, hair brushed, and put into pigtail plaits. Walking into the bedroom, she saw that Touya had already gotten her futon out. She put her dirty washing in the laundry, knowing that Ray would wash it for her, as always when she stayed over, then got her phone. Answering the abundance of messages from the staff at the hospital wishing her a happy birthday, before setting an alarm and plugging it into charge as the device was almost dead, leaving it on the bedside table he had purely for when she stayed. She turned just as Touya came back in, arms full of snacks, a huge bottle of diluted orange juice, and 2 cups, followed by the triplets, who had also showered and were now in their pajamas. They instantly came over and hugged her. "Good night, Izu and I," they said in that usual triplet way of being in sync, making her smile. "Night, munchkins." She kissed their cheeks before grabbing some bits from her best friend, before he dropped anything and made a mess. Putting the rest down, he was then tackled by his siblings, wanting a hug from their older brother. "Good night, you 3. Sweet dreams." "Night, T and I." They chimed, before leaving with a wave and stifling their yawns. Not surprising, as it was about 10 p.m. now. Izuku happily settled in Touya's bed, hauling snacks towards her after pulling the duvet over her lap, as Touya claimed the spot beside her after closing the curtains and turning the light out, dropping the room into darkness. Both were leaning against the headboard, and he started the movie. His TV was situated perfectly on the wall right in front of them, so no sore necks from trying to watch or whatever. Roughly halfway through the movie, Izuku couldn't stay awake anymore and collapsed against Touya, who chuckled. He'd been expecting it, of course, as she'd been running around most of the day. Instead of moving her onto the futon, he quickly put the snacks on his desk, turned the TV off, and carefully laid her down fully. He had plenty of room in his double bed, and they shared it often, so it wasn't anything unusual. They'd done it since they were kids. Honestly, they shared that often. It felt unusual for them not sharing when they slept over at each other's. He set an alarm for the morning, plugged his phone in to charge, and slid back under the duvet. He turned on his side, got comfortable, and pulled Izuku into his arms. "Good night, my appealing angel, and happy birthday again." He kissed her forehead, smiling softly as his best friend and crush shuffled even closer into his chest with a faint mumble. That's right, he had a huge crush on her, but wouldn't say anything because 1, he didn't want to ruin what they already had. 2, he didn't know if she even liked him in that type of way. 3, they were too young to get into a relationship anyway. So, therefore he'll hide how he truly feels until it was the right time to tell her, if he could bring himself to that is. Sure, they were just 13, yet neither of the duo were stupid and certainly knew about true relationships, CC, etc. Don't forget, they both work at the hospital, so have seen and helped deal with a lot of weird and bizarre SHD over the years, so that certainly threw their naivety and innocence away. Plus, they'd asked their parents about it around the age of 10, who didn't lie and told them pretty much everything. Knowing if they did lie, Izuku would have just researched it or something anyway. Shaking his head from those thoughts, he settled into the pillow more, letting sleep claim him fast, locked firmly around Izuku, his precious and gorgeous angel. Entrance exam. 16-year-old Izuku Midoriya was currently seen heading over to you. For the entrance exam, she'd woken up an hour earlier than usual to get ready, after doing her normal workout routine. She'd kissed her parents on the cheek before leaving. She'd had a delicious breakfast and had just finished off a banana, strawberry, and mango protein shake, which she put the empty container in a random bin provided. There was no need to litter after all. As it was the exam, they were allowed to wear comfortable clothes, which helped as it was already hot, surprisingly. Emerald Eyes had the usual winged eyeliner with long, thick black lashes that curl slightly at the ends coated in a single swipe of mascara. Lips had nothing but lip balm on, as there was no need for lipstick, and that was it for her makeup, as she barely wore anything else. Hair was in a French braid, as she didn't need it getting in the way, which also showed her ear piercings perfectly. Throat had a thin black choker, just so it didn't feel weird not wearing something. She wore fireproof custom combat boots with a hidden 4-inch switchblade heel and black leggings with zipper cargo pockets with breathable, yet fireproof fabric. It didn't leave much to the imagination that Izuku was a healthy woman, with a firm bubble but thick muscular thighs and solid calves. Top half was covered in one of her favorite custom, mostly cork-proof black workout tank tops with the straps going into one that went down the middle of her spine for her wings, and so they wouldn't get snagged, showing off her muscular arms, but it didn't look stupid or gross on her. The front, which cupped her voluminous chest perfectly, in white, had the words, "Forget skinny, I'm training to become a badass." Where parents had seen it, they chuckled and nodded in approval, making her smirk. Approaching the school, she soon spotted her utterly gorgeous best friend who'd had a bit of a growth spurt these past few months and now stood at 6 feet. Even she was 5 feet 8 now. Ignoring the people blatantly staring at the duo, she smirked as he noticed her. Both had been training harder than usual for the past year or so, and absolutely nothing was stopping them from getting closer to their dream. "Hey, Angel." His voice had gotten ridiculously deeper too, and suited him. He gave her a quick hug. "Hey, babes." He was slightly pale still, which she doubted would ever change, with a lean, tight, muscular build with an impressive six-pack of abs that he chose to keep hidden under baggy clothes. Today was different, though, but if he's comfortable and could move around easily, then that's what mattered. He wore baggy cargo pants in black, combat boots like her, and a plain black tank top that showed off his muscles. His white hair gleamed, and turquoise eyes showed eagerness to get started. Usual bracelets on his wrists that helped with the drawback of his quick. "Love the tank top, but you usually wear that to the gym." He smirked. "Thanks. I know I do, but today felt rather appropriate to wear it." She cackled as they headed in. "It's certainly you all over, that's for sure. Because we're the badass duo for the win." They fist-bumped happily and fell into a comfortable silence as they went to the hall for the first part. Her phone was zipped in the compartment on her right thigh, on silent, so there'd be no disturbances. Pen and pencil in the other pocket, as she had no need to bring anything else. Upon entering the hall, after wishing each other luck and a kiss on the cheek, went to find their designated seats. Upon claiming hers, Izuku waited patiently as others entered too. Majority of them wore sweatpants and a baggy hoodie. Seriously, in this already horrendous weather, did they want to overheat or something? Morons. Pulling her pen out, she spun it around her fingers as the last stragglers wandered in, just as Present Mike and Ectoplasm entered. She sat properly and focused. Ectoplasm sent out clones with papers, putting one down on each desk, face down so no one could begin and cheat. There had to be a good 1,000 people here ready to start. Good morning, listeners. This is the first part of the exam, a written test. You have 2 hours to complete this. Once you have finished, please quietly bring it to us. If you are found asking your seatmate for help, copying, or being disruptive, you're instantly failed and will be swiftly escorted from the premises. If you need help, please raise your hand and someone will come to you. Please turn over the papers, as your time starts now. Good luck, listeners. Mike cheered and started the timer on the wall. Izuku turned her test over. Basic information to begin with. Filling that in fast, she opened the booklet and froze. Was this meant to be hard? Flicking through was pretty much that all the way through. Sighing under her breath, Izuku knuckled down. She finished it rather quickly, on top of correcting the spelling mistakes. She gave a detailed analysis on the last question, with Eraserhead as her example. Sure, she could have used Endeavor, but didn't, considering she personally knew the man, so knew his quirk, skills, etc. firsthand. Plus, the underground hero was a personal favorite of hers since his debut. At the end, it asked why she chose that one. Her answer was simple. The reason I personally chose to give an analysis on Eraserhead is because, first, he's one of my favorites. Second, he's a total legend within the underground world. Third, he fights predominantly quirkless, which is totally badass just by that. His hand-to-hand fighting style and coordination is one of the best that I've ever come across, which says a lot as I, myself, am trained in various martial arts. He is what's called a true hero. He's known for the fast and highly efficient takedowns of villains with barely any collateral damage. He rescues people that are often overlooked by those who are in the limelight, which I personally believe is disgusting just because they're not being praised for it from annoying media or onlookers. Eraserhead doesn't do it for money or fame, being on camera, but purely for the people. He's known for his harsh training and devotion. Yet it's well known that most of those who are under his tutelage have gone on to become something great within the hero community, and all have lived at least twice the normal length of time in the field, as most who recently graduate are anywhere between 1 to 2 years before either dying or quitting due to not being able to handle it. He's a legend amongst the staff at you. As well for countless reasons that I'm sure they all know, including you, Principal Nizu, Winky Face. Thanks for reading this. Izuku Midoriya. P.S. You might want to get those spelling mistakes sorted too. She finished, put her pen back in her pocket, checked everything again, and stood up. Tucking her seat in, she headed to the teacher's desk, ignoring the faint whispers and curious people staring at her. Eyes on the clock. It had only been 20 minutes. Seriously, was that all the time that had passed? Oh dear man, maybe she should have brought her backpack and a book to pass the remainder of the time. Ectoplasm spotted her first. Are you okay? Can we help with anything, miss? He asked politely. Oh, I'm fine, sir. Thank you. I wanted to give you gentlemen this as I've finished. She held her booklet out, which the pro took cautiously. Did you check everything and are satisfied with your answers? Because once it's entirely in my grasp, there is no going back. He warned. I'm positive. I even checked it twice. I'm 100% satisfied in my answers. She leaned forward to whisper quietly, you might want to tell Nizu to fix those spelling mistakes too. She smirked at the way he flinched a little, as well as the startled gasp from Present Mike. Well then, listener, you're more than welcome to head to the seating area in the main auditorium for the next part to start. Mike said, smiling at her, getting over the shock quickly. Thank you, kind sir. I'll do that now. She bowed low and left, not so much as looking back. She quickly found where she had to go and settled in a random seat. It was literally sit where you want, so she did just that. Pulling her phone out to maybe play a game or something to pass the time, she noticed that she had some texts, making her smile. Oh, how she did love her family and friends. Katsuki, lil bro, good luck today, Izuku. Kick butt, be badass, and get first place like I know you will. Show the pros and stupid extras that you firmly deserve to be there. You're my hero no matter what happens, though. Love you. XX Shoto, lil bro, good luck in the exam today, Izuku. Can't wait to hear about it. Love you XX Natsuo, lil bro kick, but Izuku. Even though you're already my hero, show everyone else why you deserve this and to why you should be there. See you later. Love you big time XX Fuyumi, lil sis hey, Izuku. Just wanted to wish you good luck today. I know you'll do the best that you can and succeed. I believe in you, exactly like you do with me. I love you, big sister XX Mama. Izuku, my precious baby, good luck today, sweetheart. Even though I saw you first thing and wished you luck then, I had to text you it again. I believe in you entirely, baby. And this is just one step closer to your hero dream/goal. Be your badass queen self and show everyone that us women are just as empowering and strong as the men. I love you, my appealing rockstar hero. XX Dad. Izuku, my girl, I don't do long texts, as you know, but good luck. Show them the skill, drive, passion, willpower, and sheer dedication of my badass girl. Just remember, no matter what happens, though, I'm always in your corner. Love you, XX Aunt Mitsuki. Izuku. Rock the F out and show those BSDRDS exactly why you deserve to be there. Love you, my hero. XX Uncle Masaru. Hello, sweetie. I just wanted to message quickly and wish you good luck today, even though we all know that you don't need it. Just do your best, exactly as you usually do. See you later tonight. Love you bunches. XX Aunt Ray. Hello, sweetheart. Good luck in your exam today. Fight on and be proud of whatever happens with your results. See you later, and I'm so proud of you. I love you, XXP. S. I'm kidnapping you this weekend with the other ladies for a girls' day out, and maybe go to the spa or something, but we'll decide later. I've already told Mr. Baines, so don't panic. Mwah. XX Uncle NG. Good luck today. Just so you know, I'll be watching, so if you're slacking off, I'm putting you in the training room with me for a few hours wait. Never mind, as that doesn't scare you. Anyway, good luck today, my little hero. Love you, XX Grandpa Reno. Hey, kiddo. I'd wish you luck, but we know you don't need that SHD kick, but be badass, be empowering, yet compassionate and aware of those around you. Love you, XX Grandma Chio. Izuku, darling, good luck. I'll be here, as you know, but I look forward to seeing what you accomplish. I'll see you later tonight. Love you, darling. XX Uncle Mirai. Izuku, I'd wish you luck, but we know you don't need that. Do your best, and regardless of whatever happens, I'm proud of you. Show that fierce fighting spirit you have, and remember, being a hero isn't all about fighting, but the people. Love you, dear niece. And I'll see you tomorrow when you visit the agency. XX Izuku chuckled slightly at the messages from her family, all wishing her luck and letting her know that they support and love her entirely. It was so nice knowing she had their entire support, love, and back her 100%. Yes, that even meant Chio, who, since her 13th birthday, she'd grown exceptionally close to, calling her grandma now, and even was learning things from, which pleased her greatly because she soaked up the information like a greedy sponge. She sent a reply, saying her thanks and that she loves them too, and instead of writing it out entirely, she just copied and pasted it, editing small bits. So much easier too. Scrolling through the rest, she saw some from the nurses she was closest to, but two stuck out, which was Nakamura and Mr. Baines, which she quickly opened. Uncle Nakamura. Izuku, my badass doctor in training and fellow rocker who might as well be my niece, good luck in your exam for you. And myself and the entire staff, plus most of our patients are rooting for you and Tia. Just remember, when you're famous, don't forget us. We love you, XX Uncle Baines. Hey Izuku, good luck in your exam today. I wish you, and Touya, all the luck in the world, and know that all of us here at the hospital are rooting for you. See you next weekend as I've been informed that you're not in this weekend by your Aunt Ray, and I'll eagerly wait to hear all about it. Have fun, sweetie. Love your little hero XX. That was adorable. She loved them too. They were her hospital family and very protective when she was there despite knowing full well that she could defend herself. She had lots of amazing memories with the staff, mostly mucking around like idiots in between treating patients, or even dancing, chatting, or going for a simple stroll with patients to put a smile on their face. She sent them replies before switching to a game, sinking into the seat a little more as she got comfortable. "Hey, Angel." A deep voice startled her a little, and she snapped her gaze up. Touya was now beside her, smirking. She closed the game and put the phone away, realizing that nearly all the seats now had people in them. Jesus, how long had she been playing her game for? "Hey, babes, how do you think you did in the written exam?" She requested. "Not too bad, I reckon. Some parts one got a little stuck on, but worked it out. I'm not even going to ask how you finished it so early." He huffed playfully at her. "Wise choice." She chuckled as he nudged her. Sarcastic SHD. "Anyway, what are we going to be against next? Any idea?" "Robots, guessing by the ones displayed on the board up front." She pointed out. "Oh." He appeared sheepish. "We really need to work on your social awareness again, Touya." She chuckled as Present Mike appeared. Seems he was hosting this part as well. Understandable, as he was a huge extrovert. "Hello, listeners. Welcome to the practical part of the exam. Kaigetia for those who are ready." No one said anything, making Mike get a sad look, so Izuku glanced at Touya, who smirked. "Yeah," they shouted in unison. "All right, listeners. You get a gold star from me, and I'm watching you too." Mike cheered, doing finger guns at them with a goofy grin. Izuku did it back with a beaming smile before she high-fived Touya. Others grumbled at that, but they didn't care. They just wanted to make him happy, which clearly worked. "Nice one," Touya said, and she nodded. "Okay, so for this physical exam, as highlighted behind me, today you are battling robots. We have the 1-pointer, 2-pointer, and 3-pointer. Last is the biggest, but that's worth 0 points, so it's best to just avoid that one. Under your seats are small placards indicating which section you're in. You've been split into 2 different ones at random, and buses will take you to the location. You must take the cards with you, and a pro will collect to make sure you're in the right section. If you don't take it, then you don't do the exam. So, let's get rocking, listeners." Mike hollered. Izuku reached beneath her seat and felt the card taped exactly where he said it would be. Ripping it off, she was in area. "What did you get, Angel?" She turned to Touya. "I'm in Section A. What about you?" She asked. "Same as you. Let's get going, yeah?" She nodded and went to the buses with an A sprayed on the sides. They quickly claimed 2 seats next to each other, eager to begin. Ectoplasm, again, made clones to get on the buses, and they instantly handed their cards over. He nodded and carried on. Soon they arrived at their section. Stepping out, and near the doors they had to go through, Izuku started to stretch. Touya joined in, facing her as they did so, ignoring everyone else. "I forgot to ask when I joined you after the first part, but did you also get loads of messages earlier from everyone wishing you good luck?" Touya questioned. "I sure did. Aunt Ray also told me that she's kidnapping me this weekend with Mom, Mitsuki, and Fuyumi for a girl's day out, which means it'll probably be the spa again. She's already told Baines that I won't be at the hospital for a shift either. Don't complain, as you love those relaxation days with the girls." Touya laughed. "I'm not complaining. I do love it. It helps immensely with my wing joints, that's for sure." They heard a beeping noise, and she peered over by the door. Mike was standing on a rise, smirking. "Let's get ready to begin, little listeners." The humanoid microphone cheered. "Let's go, Touya." She got her best friend's attention. "How?" "It's not started just yet, though." "Vault the wall. Villains don't wait for anyone, so why should we wait for the door to open? This is also a test, so let's go." "Fly over, then." She nodded, and because no one stood near them, she caught the eye of Mike and smirked. His head tilted to the side a little. Her wings burst from her back in their full glory, startling many participants. The pro's eyes went wide in shock, and she lifted into the air. Touya lazily raised his hands, and they linked with hers. With a sharp, hard flap of her wings and a solid grip on each other, they flew over the wall, and she dropped him to the floor. He landed with a faint thud, the custom shock absorbers in the soles taking the brunt of the fall, working perfectly. "Let's go, babes." Black fire erupted in her palms as brilliant blue coated his. The buzzer went and the doors began to open, but the duo were already attacking any robots that came close, working beautifully and effortlessly as a team. "That's cheating. The door hasn't even fully opened yet." She barely heard someone scream. There are no countdowns in real life. Villains won't wait for anyone. They did the right thing in taking the initiative. "Now go. The doors have opened. Get in there." Mike hollered, and people flooded the area, gulping at the sheer destruction already revealed, and it had only been a few minutes since the duo had entered. Izuku noticed a group of three-pointers grouped together, roughly 10 of the machines, and a dirty smirk lifted her lips. Touya appeared beside her with the same look. "Izu, go do the rainbow barrel roll for me, please," he begged, before sending flames at one pointer. "Just because it's your favorite that I do, for now, Touya. But sure, get back a little then, babes, as I don't want you caught in the flames." She warned, and he did, moving to a safe distance. Lots of people had stopped to see what she'd do, hearing Touya's request, but many gasped as she set herself alight in a dazzling display of near-neon bright rainbow flames. Ignoring the audience, she rose higher and charged at the robots, quickly twisting into a well-practiced and controlled spin, much like a tornado. Well, a tornado of majestic yet deadly flames. "Archangel kiss!" She roared as she slammed into the middle of the bots, and her rainbow flames coated them. They quickly melted to the floor, and she rose above the scraps. Flames disappeared as if they'd never been, and she shot off to find more. She saw a red-haired male of about 5'3" having some trouble, so went to help. She landed almost soundlessly and threw her now-hardened wing in front of him, saving him from being splattered into the concrete. "Are you all right?" she asked, peering at him. "Yes, I'm fine, thank you." He stammered a little, trying to catch his breath. "You're welcome. Good luck, hon." She destroyed the robot enough for the guy to finish it off, then ran off and quickly came upon Touya, being overwhelmed this time by being surrounded by at least 15 three-pointers and a lot of people just spectating like it was some sort of DMN movie. Are they seriously just bloody watching? They're meant to try and be F heroes. You meant to F help, not just stand there watching arseholes. Some F heroes you'll be. Utterly pathetic. She roared and ran in to help without hesitation. She wrapped her hardened wings protectively around Touya, who was clearly exhausted, forehead now resting between her wing joints. "Hold on, babes. I'll deal with these F-airs for you. Just rest for a moment." She growled low and sent a torrent of white-hot flames spinning around her, clearly fueled by her rage. None would hurt Touya, not while she was there. The bots got hit and quickly melted to the ground in a messy lump of hot metal, as did some of the ground about a meter around said liquidized metal. She sneered at the other participants, then turned Blaze off before turning to check on the male. "What hurts, babes?" she asked softly. "My wrists. I think I've overdone it, Angel." She took his wrists in a hand and saw dark bruising. Pink flames covered them, and he sighed happily as his injuries healed. "There you go, babes. Let's go kick some robot arse." She smirked at him, and they ran off, quickly gaining more points while ignoring everyone else. Otherwise, she was liable to punch them. Teachers/pros observation deck. The room was full of the heroes who teach at the school, as well as a special guest watching the examinees at the gates, when two caught the attention of none other than Nizu. Well, more so the female, as brilliant black wings erupted from her shoulder blades. Her friend lifted his hands as she flew up before linking together, and they went over the wall instead of waiting for the door to fully open. Then started working as a flawless team, shooting flames at their targets while running around. A snort of amusement made them peer to see it was from the special guest, being none other than Endeavor, who was watching the screens with a pride-filled smile on his face. "Do you know them too, by any chance, Endeavor?" Power Loader asked, noticing his expression. "I sure do. The male is my eldest son, Touya. The female is his best friend, Izuku." But there is much more to that duo than many realize. He admitted. Like what? Nizu queried, clearly interested. Izuku is classed as a natural-born genius. She has 2 highly powerful quirks, plus another lower one that she has full control over. Touya's fire is hotter than mine, but due to help from Izuku, he can now change and regulate the temperature. They both are part-time volunteer workers at Mizudafa Hospital, but mostly Izuku, who can heal pretty much any external injury and internal injury, I believe. Literally saved my life when she was just 4 years old, and on the day her quirk activated when I got impaled by a chunk of metal after a brutal fight with a villain. Both are near experts in hand-to-hand combat and other things that I'll let you figure out. Just know this, when Izuku fights properly, you know it as that girl can hit like a DMN freight train and truly make it hurt when she wants to. She's also been my sparring partner since the age of 10, along with Touya too. He stated with pride. That's impressive. If that's strong, why not take the recommended exam? Midnight pondered. I asked them if they wanted me to recommend them, but they instantly said no thanks. They want to earn their place here by their own hard work, skill, and dedication, while not being known as the duo who Endeavor recommended. He admitted, seeing no point in lying. What are they doing? Aizawa questioned, making them focus. Oh, SHD. Endeavor gasped as he saw Izuku smirk while staring at a group of bots. What is it? Power Loader said. You're about to see Izuku's flame colors all at once. This is one of Touya's favorite moves of hers. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd asked her to do this. They watched as she set herself alight in near neon-bright rainbow flames, which startled the staff. They noticed that a lot of kids had stopped to watch, which was stupid and somewhat infuriated the staff. But Izuku ignored them while rising higher and charged at the bots, twisting her body expertly into a spin, creating a fire tornado. I must admit, that's pretty and amazing how they meld together like that. But her control already is astounding. Midnight commented, and many nodded in agreement. Because some of the cameras had tiny mics attached, they heard her roar as she literally slammed into the middle of the bots without a single second of hesitation, and her flames coated the heavy machines. They melted in a messy lump, making Power Loader groan in disappointment, as Izuku rose into the air like a phoenix. Honestly, Endeavor was a little jealous, but prouder than anything else. Rainbow flames vanished as she shot off to find more targets, before saving a male from becoming mush on the floor, not even flinching as the bot hit her wing. On another camera, Endeavor saw Touya struggling a bit while holding his right wrist with a grimace. Had he overdone it? He was encircled by at least 15 three-pointers, yet no one came to help. Instead, they just watched his son being overwhelmed. What the F? Why aren't they helping him? Midnight growled. Those just standing there watching do not deserve to be in the hero course or this school, not after that performance. It's disgusting. Someone needs to go down there fast to help. Saminta sneered, ready to leave to try and save the boy, if he could move fast, that is. Izuku is on the way, Aizawa proclaimed, pointing to a screen, showing a furious female with white flames rolling around her hands. Emerald eyes narrowed as they practically glowed in anger. She leapt into the middle of the circle of bots, wrapping Touya in her wings protectively. Just before he was covered entirely, they saw him crouch a bit to rest between the wing joints, holding his wrist. Will that be safe? Power Loader asked. Izuku has had nearly a ton of weight or so dropped onto those wings when in their hardened state and barely flinched from the impact, on top of a wide assortment of different quirks used too. So trust me, she'll be fine. Endeavor reassured him. White flames started spinning around her, which was clearly fueled by rage. The bots were quickly melted into the ground in a messy lump of metal, blazing molten red in places. Even the ground about a meter around said liquidized metal was glowing hot. She then sneered at the participants who just carried on watching before turning to Touya and taking his wrists carefully into her hands. Pink flames covered them. What's that? Sniper quested. Healing flames. They're incredibly strong and don't take anyone's stamina when being used. Well, apart from Izuku's if it's a partially bad injury and she uses more flames. Endeavor answered as they saw Touya let out a sigh of relief. The duo then smirked and dashed off, gaining more points. "I want the both in my class, Nizu," Izawa announced, shocking them all. The man never openly admitted to wanting anyone in his class. "Really?" Midnight gasped. "Yes. You can see the clear skill they have, as well as using their brains. Plus, the way Izuku ran right in to help while others just watched shows she has the remarkable traits of being a great hero." Well, it was either be a hero or become a doctor. Honestly, I think Izuku's aiming to become a mix of both, Endeavor said before taking a drink of the water he had with him. "A doctor too?" Nizu queried. "She already volunteers at the main hospital and has a legal medical license. She truly loves helping people, and since I've known her, so I really wouldn't put it past her." Endeavor shrugged. "Well, that's lovely and good to know, but let's see how they cope with this," Nizu stated and pushed a red button by the screens, releasing the monstrous zero-pointer, followed by the Chimera cackling in glee. Back with the participants, Izuku and Touya ran around, working together to gain more points, on top of saving or helping people who need it, even if they didn't want it, but oh well. "We're in what now?" Touya queried, taking a rest for a minute. Not surprising they were out of breath. They'd been running around, fighting, etc. for a good 20 or so minutes now. "Just keep a lookout and rest for a few, I guess." She shrugged half-heartedly, but that was short-lived as the ground rumbled, making her stumble a little into Touya, who instantly grabbed her. What the bloody hell was that? He peered around. That, if I had to guess, would be the zero-pointer. "Let's get going, babes." 2 minutes left. Present Mike bellowed, using his quirk so that he could be heard throughout the entire examination grounds. The duo moved from where they were resting near a building in mostly shadows, heading off towards the gates, tackling any robots left behind while saving people. Izuku peered around, keeping an eye out for anything that could happen, just as a huge shadow swept across the ground. She spun and eyes raised a lock on the zero-pointer. Hell, they didn't hold back at all on creating that big BSDRD, did they? She mumbled, making Touya snort amusedly as they continued in a gentle jog. "Did you expect anything less, though?" He retorted. "Good point." Other participants also bolted, not wanting to get in the way of the robot that was about the height of a skyscraper as it easily destroyed a building. "Help! Please, someone help me!" Someone screamed, voice full of sheer panic and fear. Izuku instantly whirled around, locking onto the position. The duo leapt into action without hesitation, racing over to help whoever had called. They quickly found the culprit. It was the boy from earlier that she'd saved from being squashed, who was now trapped beneath some rubble, leaving him from the waist up being visible. He was in direct line of the zero-pointer that wasn't far away. "We'll get you out, bud. Just give us a few, then you'll be free and safe," Touya said. "Touya, you grab him when I lift the concrete, okay?" Izuku instructed. "Got it. Be careful, Angel," he warned, and she nodded. No one else offered or instantly ran in to help, choosing to watch, yet again at a fair distance away. They'd done that with Touya being surrounded by the three-pointers, as well as when she'd wreaked utter havoc on the metal opponents. They weren't heroes. Instead, they were pathetic BSDRDs who didn't think of anything but themselves. She could tell they'd be the ones who didn't save people unless it was on camera for the glory. Disgusting. Seriously, what was wrong with them to just watch this happen? Skidding to a stop, she grabbed the part of the rubble that was mostly trapping him. Hands clasped on the edge, legs bent perfectly, spine straight, in the best position to lift something heavy. "When I lift, till you pull him out, but be careful of any injuries. Hun, when he pulls, please help in any way that you can to make it easier. Let's go." "Ready when you are, Angel." She nodded, then stood upright, moving the largest part of the rubble with a bit of a struggle due to its shape, but nothing she couldn't handle. Touya pulled the boy out, showing he had a rather nasty open fracture of the left ankle. "Move, Touya," she screamed, just as the giant fist of the robot came hurtling down towards them. He quickly moved with the boy out of reach, just as it connected where she was. The siren bell rang loudly as well, signaling the end of the exam. "Izuku!" Touya cried out as dust, wind, and debris went flying. Many pro heroes came running, startling the kids whose faces had gone rather pale seeing what had just happened. Recovery Girl appeared, with a lot of medical supplies, and instantly told Touya to put the boy on a transport bed, wrapping his ankle in an airtight orange half-splint that paramedics use when called to accidents involving badly broken limbs. It was beyond her healing ability at this moment in time, due to he had very little stamina or energy. Midnight grabbed Touya, who was pretty much shaking as tears started to streak down his face. His knees gave out, and she hugged him tightly to her side, which was appreciated judging by the way he tightly held on. Recovery Girl made him kneel in front of her, checking him over for any injuries. Aurora Drew gazes up, and they gasp. Izuku was fine, albeit a little bit dirty, but she seemed to be good. Lucifer's kiss. Black flames mixed with hot white twisted around her hands before she sent them at the Zero-Pointer's head, then literally throwing herself at it like an unstoppable battering ram. Wings wrapped around her like a hardened cocoon, making it topple backwards to not land on anyone. Once the robot had hit the floor, not getting back up again, considering she'd literally melted its entire head, she floated back down to where everyone was. She made her wings disappear as she was swiftly tackled into a tight hug by Touya, face buried in her throat. "Sure, I'm okay, babes," she reassured him. Sure, she'll feel it later, but a couple of bruises never truly bothered her anyway. When he let her go, she wiped his face, smiling softly. "I'm so bloody glad that you're fine. I was really scared just then." He mumbled, "Don't be. I'm good, babes. It'll take more than a shitty giant robot to take me out entirely." She smirked, then noticed that some pro heroes, including Endeavor, had joined. She winked at them before spotting the boy they'd saved, leg and splint. She dashed over, inspecting the injury. "I can fix that, but I need you to trust me, okay?" She turned her gaze to the boy, staring in his slate-gray eyes that were full of relief knowing that she's all right, but it was predominantly pain. "I trust you. You has saved me twice. So thank you." He whimpered, clearly trying to not cry from the pain. She nodded and opened the splint carefully, showing everyone the damage done to his ankle. Even the pros winced at the sight. It wasn't pretty and must hurt like an utter beach. Touya joined her side and instantly placed his hands on the boy's calf for extra support. "This will hurt for a few seconds, but you'll be as good as new when I'm finished, hon." Izuku peered at her granny, who just smiled, letting her do her magic. It had already been washed over quickly with some cool water to remove any dirt, so that helped. Save her having to do it. "Okay, good. What's your name, by the way, hon? How do you think you did in the exam, too?" "My name is Luca, but I'm thinking that being a hero isn't for me. Not with this. I don't like pain. I tried my best, which is good enough for me, but I'll be genuinely content in business or something like that." He smiled softly, and she nodded. Being a hero wasn't for everyone. That was a fact. "Nothing wrong with that, Luca. It's good to know your limits. My name's Izuku, by the way. Now, this'll hurt, and I'm sorry, but I must reset the bone before healing it. Trust me, okay?" Izuku warned. "I do." She placed her hands on his foot, took a deep breath before yanking it back into place in one go. The once exposed bone sliding back inside without a problem. "Aw!" Luca screamed, tears streaming down his face as he gripped the edges of the bed. "Sorry about that. Now the true magic will happen. Luca, this is the best part of where Izuku takes all your pain away and makes it be as though you had never been injured." Touya said calmly. Pros watched in clear curiosity that even Midnight moved to the other side of the bed to see better. Izuku made pink flames ignite and put her hands on the injury. Kids freaked out seeing that and started shouting at her to get away before she hurts him even more and some insults, but didn't try to move or stop her themselves. Endeavor glared over his shoulder, making them shut up instantly. "She's healing him, you stupid idiots. Get a bloody hold of yourselves." He growled. She hadn't realized that he was pretty much behind her at this point, not that it bothered her. "Oh, that honestly feels amazing." Lucas sighed, relaxing happily as the wound healed. Soon enough, she was done, and the flames went away. She stepped back, revealing non-broken and perfectly fine skin, or that anything had even been wrong to begin with. Not even a scar was left behind. All done. Just be careful with it for a day or two, though, as it'll be a little bruised internally and stiff from what just happened. She smirked as he carefully stood up. Thank you. He hugged her, before wiggling his ankle around with a wide grin. You're welcome, hon. I wish you the best of luck for whatever happens after this. Let's go, as I want to shower, some food, and cuddles please before we get tackled by our siblings. Hell yeah. Let's go, Angel. The turquoise-eyed male instantly agreed, linking their hands together. They bowed slightly to the pros. Izuku winked at Endeavor, who chuckled, and they left, ignoring everyone around them, but chatting to Luca as he happily walked with them to leave the premises. They'd get their results soon enough and find out how they did, but until then, Izuku was going to go home, get a lovely hot shower, get into her comfortable pajamas, stuff her face with some food, and then snuggle on her bed with her best friend and either sleep for a bit or watch a movie. They decide when the time came to it, as it had been a long day after all. Either way, Touya's her cuddle buddy today. Zero objections. XXXXXXXXXXXX. Endeavor. Seriously, what the hell was that just now? Midnight questioned once the grounds had emptied after Mike shouted for the participants to leave as it was all over. I told you, there's much more to that duo than many realize. It'll take more than that robot to take them down entirely. You'll see when they get into you, he answered. When not if. Oh, they'll get in, no question about it. More so considering their performance today. I'm not stupid, Nim. I know firsthand the skills that my son and Izuku possess. He retorted, I believe you after seeing all of that. I can't wait to see what happens. She chuckled. Let's go back inside. I will be seeing my granddaughter in a bit, and don't wish to be late for family night. Recovery Girl announced, and they followed her back inside. You have a granddaughter? Mike requested. Yes. Not by BLD, but that means nothing. It's also Izuku, by the way. She smirked before leaving. She's not wrong. They're as close as BLD-related family can be. Trust me, you get to know those kids. You won't be adopted aunts and uncles. Endeavor stated. We'll see. Now, we'll be off first, and it was great seeing you again, Inji, outside of doing some hero work. Midnight said as they got to the teacher's lounge. You too, Nim. Catch you around. Take care. He waved and walked off. He'd see the kids later, as he had a patrol shift to get to for now. Well, if it didn't run over late, that is. Thank you for joining us on this journey through What If Female Deku Had 3 Quirks. We hope you found it as captivating as we did. A big thank you to TazzDavies for creating such an engaging story. Don't forget to visit their profile on Wattpad for more fantastic works. The link is in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Zenin Fanfics for more intriguing explorations into fanfiction and fantasy. Your support helps us create more content like this, and we love hearing your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section. See you soon in the next video.